Hello, everybody, and welcome back for Face Check, Episode 7, Week 6. Loco again with the spicy takes before we start, but this time we keep it PG. Degon here with Dom and Loco, watching all the action, giving you your takes, your little slice, bit of heaven of the LCS breakdown. But this week, got a little bit of something special here. It's a monumental moment for Face Check the show because we have our very first sponsor for the show, and it's from FaceCheck, the app made by Overwolf. So what is FaceCheck? FaceCheck is an add-on for all of you challengers trying to get yourselves out of silver to move on up. It helps you during champ select. It gives you goal matchup information, picks and bans, team stats, runes and items. You can go ahead and select item pages that are already selected for you in a specific matchup. And one of the coolest parts about the app is that it pushes to your in-game client with the touch of a button. You don't have to go in and select your runes. You can select it within the app and then push the button and your runes are already set. You want this type of item build against an AD, full AD composition? No worries. FaceCheck's going to do that for you by just clicking the button. It'll be in your client, your item set already updated. One of the coolest parts about it. And of course, they support us, so please make sure that at the end of the video, you can see it in the description. It's not even at the end of the video. You can see the description there. Click on the link, download it, shoot all the way up from silver to gold so you can start playing with your friends again. Thanks so much to our friends over at FaceCheck and Overwolf for sponsoring our episode today. All right. We're getting paid. We're getting paid, boys. We're getting legit now.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, if you guys really want to support the show and you guys appreciate what we do, like downloading the link helps us a lot. It shows the sponsor, hey, like the fans of FaceCheck really love the show and really love the sponsors that we're working with. So please show the support.
Yep. Beyond everything that you guys do already. So thank you guys so much. Let's kick things off now with a little bit of a look into Week 6. So Week 6, Cloud9, clearly still 12-0. FlyQuest now starting to separate themselves. They did have their touted matchup between 1 and 2, but really Santorin couldn't really get off the ground. Cloud9 just showing their class and taking off. We had Tree SM coming on in, Maokai being played. What was the other weird pick of the week?
Kale
Yeah. Coming on in. We got to see good Tom Kench. We got to see bad Tom Kench. What was some of your big takeaways from Week 6 before we deep dive into some of these teams?
Wow, like LCS is a giant shit show. There's like 9 teams that can make playoffs, and there's CLG doing CLG things. Like CLG is just playing spoiler to all the other teams, but yeah, like usually by Week 6 we have a really clear picture of like, oh, there's going to be like 2 or 3 teams that are trying to squeeze into playoff, and everyone else, like we know they're going to be in playoff, but right now like anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, my big takeaway from the week is that TL actually looked like a team with just one roster swap. Like, this is the best they've looked. And I'd even go as far as to say, like, based on how they played in those last 2 games, like, when they're on that type of form, they're probably just the second best team in the league already after Cloud9. So just being able to see them actually, like, function as a team, like, play through bot side, they're just played around the jungler, like, the games are almost perfect, you know, from at least my perspective. I thought their drafts were good, too. Like, all of them made sense. So I was just like pretty happy with how they played. This is the first time where I've looked at TL and I've been like, oh shit, that's TL. Like, that's the TL that has like the fucking world champion, best player in North America, rank 1 in solo queue, like support CoreJJ, just doing CoreJJ things, man. Like, he had deep vision like the entire game. Like, he's able to just like stomp lane. Like, they just were able to play through the bot lane and it just looked great. So I was pretty happy with TL's performance. I'm surprised that they played that much better because like, in the last week, it just looked like they finally understand like how their jungler looked, or like how their jungler is meant to fit into the team. So before, when they were playing with Broxah, if you looked at the games, it was like, okay, Broxah's kind of just doing his own thing. It felt like he was just kind of being like dragged around, like he didn't really know like what his job was in a lot of the fights. He was dying early as like Lee Sin on like dragon fights, and that type of shit can just lose you the game, right? Like, so I was pretty low on like how well he would integrate into the team, but this week it was a completely different thing. Like, he's double crabbing. He's playing the game super well in terms of pathing. He's ganking early, and then his team fighting was like pretty much flawless. So I was pretty happy with TL this week.
Loco, I see you ideating for all of those that just listen to audio. Go ahead. I feel a spicy take coming.
Before I go, I'm curious, Dom. You talked to Jensen from TL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard much about internal dynamics?
No, I haven't. I've heard that like the team is getting along better, but that's about it. Like, so.
I heard there was a lot of differences in terms of not just approach to the game and how seriously they should be taking spring, right? Both Dodo came out and Steve came out on Hotline League. I think Dodo said it in an LCS interview. Doublelift doesn't speak for the whole team in terms of when Doublelift said, hey, like, I don't think spring is that important. Hey, like, I don't feel the need to try hard in spring. There was also differences from what I heard in terms of like approach to the draft, how they wanted to do certain picks, how they wanted to play out the game. So I think not benching of Doublelift, but this like small opportunity for tactical to play also let the team be more on the same page and in line. And it also gives Doublelift a really good opportunity to like really straighten his shit out because yeah, TL looked better without him this week.
1 second, I have to answer my door.
He's got to go get his pickup.
Ah, shit. You know, when your hookup comes, you know, like you got to make sure you pick it up.
Yeah. When you're going to get face checked, you got to make sure you answer.
All right.
Well, let's have your take, Daniel. I mean, you thought TL. Do you think TL looked better without Double?
I mean, they played better, but it felt like Broxah was at the right place at the right time. It felt like Broxah was doing better. It felt like Jensen had opportunities to make those kind of big plays, you know? And it just felt like right place, right time, and it just felt like a more cohesive team thing. So
yeah, that's a big point.
Like,
cohesion.
It's weird, right? It's cohesion, right? It wasn't like where Crown and Ruin are just shitting all over the place for CLG, and it's very clear that's who needs to get taken out. Ica not playing well, so you substitute Apollo. It's not that either. It was just, hey, look, we're gonna put in somebody.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that
else,
one too.
Yeah,
that one definitely has other reasons.
The whole team looked like clean and smooth. So it just, it felt like an addition by subtraction, and that's just so weird to say and think about when it comes to one of the best players in the history of North America, and still one of the best players in North America.
You know, it really reminds me of when we swapped Keith for Piglet. Yeah. It seems like the same thing because it's both TL, right? It's both TL, and it's both times it's the superstar AD carry getting swapped out, and instantly the rest of the team looks better. You know, which is like the main thing about the Keith swap. It wasn't necessarily that when we played with Keith and we won all those games that we were like
better.
That Keith was just insane, right? Like it wasn't like Keith was just 1v9ing every fucking game, like he's just fucking popping off like none other. It was just that it feels like the rest of the team was able to like really show their skill a lot more. Like it was more skill expression from top side of the map, and that's kind of how it looks here. It feels like everyone just looked more comfortable playing with tactical, and I think that it's because just Doublelift as a player, he's somebody who demands resources, right? Like he wants to be ahead. He's not okay ever being behind in a game. And I think that having an AD carry that's just like willing to do whatever they want, like I think TL has kind of shown this week that it's like, hey, I mean, we have enough star players on this roster. It's not like we need like a 4-star player. And when I was thinking about TL, like I was thinking about TL yesterday, and like kind of like the I guess like the hierarchy within the team, like the team hierarchy,
the totem pole.
Yeah, like how that shit should work. And I feel like Doublelift should not be number one on the totem pole, right? Like you have two people that have won worlds on your team, right? And another person that played in the world finals 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's like the fourth man on the totem pole in terms of like achievements, even though he's won NAL.
What's TL totem pole from your point of view with Doublelift, and what do you think it should be?
Well, okay, so I think that with Doublelift, the totem pole is like Doublelift and then everyone else, you know?
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets put in a basket made of wire.
Where does Kane fit into this?
Kane?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that in general, like, especially when I see Kane, like, in his demeanor and stuff like that, I don't feel like he would ever be a coach that would, like, really go hard on somebody like Doublelift. Like, I can't see Kane sitting Doublelift down and being like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like you need to like drop the ego and play some fucking Senna. Like I can't see him like actually having that conversation. It just doesn't seem like it's in Kane's personality.
Yeah.
Kane is exactly that way. Kane is very like, he will push you towards a certain direction, but he won't force it. So when I look at some of the draft, especially one with like the Elise Victor, I look at it and I'm like, well, Kane's not stupid. He's not retarded. Like he knows these picks don't go together, and that was one of the other problems with TL. Like Broxa kind of forcing his way of play. This week he played Gragas Sejuani. Like he fit into the TL style. He became more Xmithy than he was Broxa. And I think the same thing happened with like Double. I'm sure like there were picks that Double wanted that Kane might have disagreed with, and like Double kind of pushed anyways. And we saw that last year. Like anytime they needed to play Sona Tom Kench or Sona Tarek, it looked like they were pulling teeth out of Doublelift. Like you could see it on his face. He's like, "Oh my god, not this shit again."
Yeah. I mean, so my current hierarchy is that like Doublelift than the rest of the team, and then what I think the hierarchy should be is I think it should be like Core JJ number 1. I think he should be the top of the totem pole in terms of TL. Like it seems like he's putting in the most effort. I mean, he's grinding the fuck out of solo queue. He has a ton of games for being a pro player. He's rank 1. He's playing the best in game. It feels like it feels like he's just like the one that can lead the team.
Him and Jensen.
Yeah, he's the one that has had the highest peak the most recently. I would say yeah. So like he won a world championship like only like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago at this point. So I would like to see like that number 1, then Impact, then Broxa, and then Doublelift and Jensen. Yeah, like 4 or 5. Like that doesn't really matter to me. Like I would want that to be the hierarchy of the team, because I just feel like in terms of effort, right? Like that's like when I look at the team, right? Who do I think is putting in the most effort to win? And I just think it's the Korean players. I think it's Impact and Core JJ. From my perspective, they're the ones that are playing the game the most, right? They're the ones that are playing the game the most. I think that they're the ones that want to win the most.
Has that been true for Impact? I know Impact puts in the work when it comes to playoff, but during regular season until this week, I didn't think Impact was one of the better players.
I didn't think he was one of the better players. But I still think that he was working harder than other people to be good. Like, I mean, this guy has like 350 games of solo queue. He's 1K LP. Like he's really like playing the game outside. And like you see somebody like Doublelift, right? And he like, I don't even think he has 200 yet. I think he's like almost hitting 200, or he's like he just hit 200, and like Impact's got 50 to 100 more games than him. And Impact wasn't here at the beginning of the season when Doublelift was. So like when the ladder started, he came in like the week after, So I think that that those players just want to win the most, and just it seems like it's just very core to Korean players that I spend time with, or like that I see around, is that they just play the game all the fucking time. That's their like key to being a pro player, and that's like the key to success. And I just feel like those players just do it the most.
Yeah. Oof, interesting. It kind of reminds me of like real sport situation where like a star player gets injured and then you have someone else come in. Like we rarely have that in LCS or esports in general, because people never get injured, but this does put a really like new kind of light on TL.
I mean, we had it with Acadian and Grid, kind of not star player, but we had like the same situation where it's like you have a player that's like in finals popping off, and then you have like another player that's supposed to be the starter that it's like just doesn't get the job anymore.
Yeah, but like core players like this getting bent, like core players like this on esports teams, I just feel like never get benched unless there's like huge behavior issues or like huge play issues, right? Like people just don't try new iteration of rosters, and this is something that it's rather fortunate for TL. They get to see how they look without Doublelift, and like you said, like playing a different style and like being more cohesive, and like the totem pole kind of being fixed and everything just being in line. I would say under Kane right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's a cool. That is definitely something that doesn't really happen in terms of. Again, if you didn't know, Doublelift was put out because he had laryngitis, right? Laryngitis or some sort of...
Not corona.
Not corona,
distinguish.
Yeah. But it was bad enough that he
that was the
couldn't
tweet.
play. It was not corona, but it was bad enough that he couldn't play. And yeah, Logo's right. It's a succession of power. Do you go with the hot hand that's been playing and doing well? And there's no like statistical way to prove like why it's necessarily better, but it just looks like a different team from the eye test.
I don't know. The 2 wins those are great statistics. Tactical 2-0, Doublelift not 2-0. I mean, facts are facts. No printer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really hope so. I said this, and the community started shitting on me. They're like, "Dude, Dom knows fucking nothing. He's retarded. When like a broken clock, what was one of the upvoted comments? A broken clock is right twice a day, like some shit like that." Like I had some comments like, "Oh, Dom's the worst with hot takes," like all this shit. I'm gonna just fucking double down.
Who do they like?
I'm just gonna fucking double down. I want to see Doublelift benched. I want to see Doublelift. I want to see Doublelift benched, and I want to see Tactical just play until we start seeing a reason to bring Doublelift back. That's what I want to see.
No,
Because
way.
I think that you cannot do that as a player. Like, I don't think you can ever go on camera and be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, at that point, what, you're bigger than the team? Like, you can literally just go, like, imagine anyone else saying that. Imagine, like, okay, so Doublelift has what, 7 titles, right?
Yeah.
I think Xmithy has 6, right?
Mhm.
So can you imagine Xmithy going on camera for Immortals in an interview and being like, yeah, you know what? I just really don't care about winning. It's spring, doesn't really matter, not really putting in effort, etc. Can you imagine the community's reaction to somebody doing something like that? Like, you're just like, he would get fucking shit on. They'd be like, yeah, you were never fucking good. There's a reason why TL fucking kicked you, you piece of shit. Like, people would go the fuck off if Xmithy did that,
true.
right?
That's true. That's true.
But for some reason, Doublelift can do it, and it's just okay. It's just like, oh yeah, you know what? I mean, it's Doublelift, bro. Like, dude, he's just dude. Everyone else is trash. Like, what? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have that attitude, because the thing you have to consider is when you're putting that attitude forward publicly, it's always got to be 50 times worse behind the camera. Like, that's what you're saying when the lights are on and everything. Like, you know, you truly believe that shit if you're gonna put it out there to the fucking world like that. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, fuck it, dude. Okay, we get it. You don't give a fuck. Tactical gives a fuck. Play with Tactical. That's it.
Wow. Holy shit, the Dom Piglet PTSD really kicking in.
Yeah. No, seriously though. It's the same exact shit. It's the same exact shit. And I had the same opinion then. I was the only player on TL when that shit happened that wanted to play with Keith over Piglet. I was the only, like, we had like a team vote of like who we should play.
Team vote.
Yeah, and I was the only person that wanted to play with Keith over Piglet. Everyone else was like, no. And to me, I thought I was fucking. I was like, are these people insane or what? Like, we're 5-1 with Keith. We're 2-4 with Piglet. Why are we playing with the guy that we're just losing every game with when we have a different guy that we just played with that we won every game? Like, recently, we're winning every game. So yeah, no. I'm so tired of people being able to like get away with massive attitude problems in NA just because they're popular or just because they're like the face of the team, like whatever. It's just unacceptable. Like, I can't even imagine like other people that are huge winners saying that type of shit. Like, that is just such an insane statement to make on camera. Can you imagine Bjergsen saying that in an interview? Like,
I mean,
it's just not a thing.
Let's get to the statement, but beforehand, when Dom was talking about like voting to see if like Piglet gets to stay, all I could think was Survivor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Tribal Council. It's like, okay,
That's how it was.
Yeah. 3 votes no, 1 vote yes. Piglet, the tribe has spoken. Your torch is snuffed.
No,
Piglet,
it was not
tribe
that.
has
It was Keith.
spoken,
It was
you're
Keith.
replaceable.
Keith. Like, we're like celebrating and everything. Like, we just beat all the best teams in the league with Keith, and it's like, oh, we're actually gonna be the best team in LCS. And then it's like, all right, Keith, get the fuck out of here. All right. Like,
Yeah, that was
you're
weird.
the tribe has spoken. Like, they snuffed him like right in front of me.
They took him out back. They shot him. That was
Yeah, it was like Old Yeller, bro. They took him out back, put 2 bullets in his head.
Hey
It
guys,
was
guess who's
real.
back? We've got our world
Yeah.
champion back. Here we
It
go.
was
Time
rough.
for
It was
playoff
rough.
run.
All right, so let's talk about the statements made. This isn't even the first time where Doublelift hasn't cared about Spring, and I'm not sure if a lot of people watch Doran content. I mean, a lot of people watch Doran content, but I'm not sure if people have seen that specific interview with Bjergsen.
Mhm.
It was his
The
really
reflections. or
the
whatever.
reflection with Bjerg, and Bjerg talked about how he kind of felt betrayed that Doublelift took Spring off. He's like, well, I play all the time. I put in effort all the time. I get you might have been playing longer than me, but it makes us a better team to play throughout spring and summer and go to Worlds instead of just playing summer. I understand you're burned out, but everyone's making sacrifices. So it happened on TSM also.
Wait,
But
you're talking 2017.
Yeah.
there's
spring
a
season.
Yes.
there's a split. where
2017 spring.
Yeah.
2017 spring.
So that was when Wild Turtle came in for
Double.
TSM.
Yeah.
And then
And they started playing through topside for a little bit.
Concert was
became the
looking
carry.
good, and then all
Poncer
of a
got
sudden,
second in MVP points that split, I think. I forgot who won.
uh,
2017 spring. Who won? Was that who won?
Jensen?
Was that
Ole?
Bjerg?
Bjerg?
I can't remember.
Arrow. Lamau, that's
yeah,
right.
It was Arrow, not my MVP.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not my
man.
MVP split.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
So he
that
actually
was-
played really well that split.
Yeah.
He did play really well,
Yeah.
but that was a stretch. So anyway, so Turtle came in, filled in the spot, less of a, again, kind of same type of thing here, less of a demanding voice, and then he comes back in and TSM flame out in the groups, right?
Doublelift earned his spot back. He played for the shitty TL, the Reign over Golden Glue TL, and then he beat the Gigastack TSM roster. So it was kind of his shot at TSM. Hey, you guys still need me. You guys know what's up.
Oh, that was Red Buff. That was when Red Buff killed Doublelift. Yes. Down on the bottom side, he's playing Jin. That was that was Steve trying to save the franchise.
Yeah.
But going back to like the whole benching Doublelift angle, the big thing is like Doublelift's not an easy player to bench, and I'm curious what his like reaction will be to actually getting benched if it does happen.
I hope it's a shocking reaction because that's the only way that the team improves. Like I don't even, it's not like I have like something against Doublelift. I just think that like from a coaching perspective or from a management perspective, it is the best possible thing that you can do as TL because you have a team that's already so star-studded that you don't necessarily need Doublelift to be good, right? Like all those players are fucking, like you put a lot of ADs on that team, TL is still pretty decent, right? You don't require Doublelift to be a good team. And when you played with Doublelift, he hasn't been performing like he was in previous splits. It's not like he's still going in there and individually he's a monster, right? Like individually he's been playing kind of poorly. And like it seems like there must be some type of ego problem. I think that the best possible move is you bench him and you let it sink in, right? Because if he's like a true, if he's a true superstar, right? The one thing that he's gonna hate more than anything else is seeing somebody else go in and watch the team play better with that other person than they did with him, or watch the other person play better and get all the things that he feels like he deserves, like all the playoff victories and things that he thinks he deserves. So if you let somebody else play, I think that it can motivate Doublelift to actually want to be fucking great again. Like then we might get a better Doublelift. I think the worst thing you could do is just put Doublelift back in and just be like, yeah, you know what? All your behavior, everything you said, completely fine. Yeah, this other dude like pretty much played like Tactical pretty much played as well as anyone could expect, right? There's no one that's gonna be like, oh shit, I thought Tactical played worse than I thought. Like he played better than anyone could expect. Like, why would you give Doublelift back his spot so easily? Make him fight for it. Make him feel like there's some desire. Like make him prove that he's great. Like he is great, right?
Yeah.
He just needs to fucking be in the mindset of like, I want to be fucking great right now. Because when he's in that mindset, then he's fucking the best.
He was sick.
LCS is like kind of like an NBA status where the superstars have so much power where it is really hard to bench them. Like we saw it last time with Jensen, funnily enough, also on the team, where C9 benched Jensen, and eventually that broke like Jensen's trust within C9 and C9's management and how they treated him. And he didn't, and that was part of the reason that he didn't stay on the team. I'm sure there's a lot of different reasons, but the benching of Jensen.
Yeah, he probably also wanted to win some championships. So.
Yeah,
I would say that probably factored in a little bit, but yeah, continue.
But there's definitely negative aspects to benching Doublelift too. I agree with the positive aspects that's there, but I don't think it's like black and white as like, yeah, just press the button, like bench Doublelift, like let's just let it ride.
I do. That's just how I see it.
Yeah,
like I just think that there's no room for that level of like you got when you're part of the team, you have to actually be a part of the team. It can't be like you're more important than the team. Like you can't be selfish.
Sometimes there are players that are.
Yeah, but Doublelift is not.
He's not. If not Doublelift, then who?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like there's nobody else who's gambled on themselves more than Doublelift.
I don't think that there's any. Yeah, I don't think that there's any player in LCS right now that is more important than their team. There's no player, like even on C9, there's no player that I think should be able to have an ego and just like misbehave in a team environment or be a bad teammate and they just deserve to fucking play. I don't think there's one player in NALCS that has that status where it's just like you're so much fucking better than everyone else. Like you can just start popping off. Like it just be ridiculous in terms of like your mindset.
So and League has been more and more of a team game, and teams overall have leveled up. Where I do lean on more your side, but if I do have to pick out the most important player and the most influential player in LCS, it would have to be Doublelift. And like Daniel said, Doublelift bet on himself twice. Like after CLG, he bet on himself, like joined TSM. After TSM, he bet on himself, he joined TL. Like Steve literally saw like Hotshot and Andy make the same mistake. I think it'd be a really hard decision to make from his point of view. And people that are going to be like, why the fuck are you bringing up Steve? It's going to be Kane that makes the decision. If you know TL and if you know how involved Steve is, if anyone makes that decision to bench Doublelift, it's gonna be Steve. It won't be Kane.
Or it goes
Well-
through Steve where he can veto it. And
Yeah.
and
Dude,
wait, just real quick, I feel like we're making
He's
a lot
Jerry
of
Jones.
assumptions. We're making
Steve is Jerry Jones.
two major assumptions. One, that because he's benched because he was sick, he's benched. He was sick. He was out. He was unavailable. I think that's one. And then
yeah, I don't really like, bro. Somebody else is
know.
playing LCS games. That shit matters. You
I
can
know.
try to be like,
Daniel,
hey,
you know
dude,
when you're
it's okay.
bullying-
Like
when
he
you're
was sick. He's
bullying
coming.
people-
Like, no, dude. Somebody else played LCS games, and the team looked much better. Like not even
they
like
did
a
look
little
much
bit better.
They did look.
They
much
looked
better.
like
They did
like
look much
way
better.
fucking better.
They look
Wait,
like
Dom,
what they're supposed to look like.
If the kind of sickness when the boys are a little bit mean to you at school, so when you wake up, you feel kind of sick and you don't want to go to school, you think it was that kind of sickness,
No
and
idea
not
what
the
you're
actual
talking
sickness.
about, Loco.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't know that kind of sickness when you tell your
Oh,
mom,
I
I'm
had that
sick.
sickness all the time, bro.
I don't
That
wanna
was
go
when
to
I was trying to
school
play
today.
Dota. Yep. Yeah. It's like I want to play some Dota today. Oh shit. I'm sick. You put fucking water in your mouth and you spit the water into the toilet so it sounds like you threw up. Yep, no. I was on that fucking grind.
You guys did that. I
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I scammed her. I ran that shit.
When Burning Crusade
Let's fucking
came out,
go.
I was sick.
no one's safe in Dom's life, not even Dom's mom.
Oh yeah. No, I was fucking no.
The second point that I feel like we're assuming is that because he made that statement about about the split, he's a bad teammate. He's a bad teammate. So like I feel like that's also a stretch too. Maybe he's in a
No,
slump.
it's not
Maybe
a
he's
stretch when you have
funk.
a history of being a bad teammate.
Okay.
Like,
When your ownership or coach has to come out and say he doesn't speak for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel, what does that say about like the team dynamic or like how rest of the team feels
Yeah.
about what he's saying?
Yeah. I
Nah.
just okay.
Look,
Maybe that's less
people
of a
people are gonna always just like obviously this is a really storied player, dude.
It's a
So
very touchy topic.
yeah, it's such a touchy topic. People are gonna be mad as fuck at me for this. But the reality is, like, sure, he's really important, but you have to look at the team that he's on too. Like back in the day when people came in, the reason they had such god mode, like the reason why Piglet ended up getting a starting spot back was because he was like a recent world champion, and we just didn't have other people like with close to that level of success, right? The team that he was joining was me, Quas, Xpecial, and Phoenix. Out of that team, only me and Xpecial had been to Worlds, right? Like, and he won Worlds. Neither of us, I don't even think, got out of groups, or maybe TSM got out of groups once by just qualifying out of groups because I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
used to get a bye.
Season
So-
three.
season 3, baby.
Season two.
Season 2.
Oh yeah,
baby.
so season 2, you're right. Season
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
59.
Season 2. So like there was a huge like discrepancy in like, oh, this guy is like above the rest of the team. When you're in this TL team, that's just not the case. Like you have people that are more accomplished than you. Like obviously in the context of NA, like what I guess Impact's a 4-time champion now. Jensen's a 2-time champion. CoreJJ's a 2-time champion. But like, man, you had players that were like insane recently, right? Like Broxa won 2 splits in 2018. Broxa fucking went to World Finals, and for all intents and purposes, like people forget the narrative of Worlds. He actually looked, up until he got beat by Ning in the finals, he looked like the best jungler in the world.
Yep.
Like his Lee Sin was
Victor
just
Broxa.
insane. So you have these type of people on your team, you just have to fit in. Like you're not above everyone else. Like it doesn't matter your brand, doesn't matter everything else. Like in terms of just being a teammate, being like winning, if Brox was being a fucking good teammate next to you, and CoreJJ has a good mindset and he's being a good teammate next to you, and then you're gonna disrespect them by saying, I don't really think Spring matters. It's like, dude, have you heard Broxa speak? It matters to fucking Broxa, bro. His reputation's on the fucking line. He's joining a team that has won 4 splits in a row, right? He's joining a team that won 4 splits in a row, and he's supposed to be an upgrade. If they don't win, instantly people are going to be questioning, oh, maybe Xminthy was a better fit for the team. I mean, obviously C9 looks so good that it wouldn't be such a forced narrative, but Broxa wants to fucking win LCS, dude. That shit matters to him. Like, he wants to be the first person to win LCS and LEC. That's never happened before. Like, you can't just hit them with, oh yeah, it doesn't fucking matter, bro. Because if they lose, Doublelift most likely won't be getting shit on the most. You know, it's his
It'll be
teammates that are gonna get
Broxa,
fucked.
Yeah. It'll be Broxa and Impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing you mentioned regarding, hey, it should be the world champions team, it should be Brox's team, it should be CoreJJ's team, it should be Jensen's team, it should be whoever's trying hard, whoever's playing best team. Like that should be the case, and I think that is the case. But before Doublelift didn't play this week, I don't think that was the case. It was Doublelift's team. It always has been. But now that they've shown success without Doublelift and they can show, hey, we can actually play the game without Doublelift and it might look better, what you're saying will be more true within TL, and other people within the team will see that. But beforehand, like the way they talked about Doublelift, like Core JJ talking about, oh, I joined because of Doublelift, like Broxah talking about TL and Doublelift, like it has always been Doublelift's team before last week. It can still be Doublelift's team in the future.
Kind of. But it's
for
also
now,
like it's also the setup of the question. Like to other people, that's such a narrative that they like will always speak about things in context of like,
How's
oh,
it
you're
feel
joining a team
joining the,
with the NA
with the
GOAT,
greatest
right?
AD carry than any. Yeah.
Dude,
maybe a bait.
I just okay. So I just really hope also TL like ends up playing tactical more. Like I'm not saying permanently bench Doublelift, right? That was never my take. My take is play with tactical for the foreseeable future, right? So like from now on, I just want tactical to be the one that is starting, right? And then Doublelift, if he earns his spot back and he's playing really well, he puts in the time and he proves to the team that he deserves his spot, and they obviously can judge it internally. You still should split some amount of scrims between the two. And he proves that he's like really fucking hungry and he's leading the team and he's being a good teammate, all this shit. If that's the situation, then you put him in whenever. Like, I think Doublelift can be plug and play. I don't think that it's like if you put him in playoffs, like if you let Tactical finish the season and then you put him in playoffs, he's suddenly going to forget how to play the game, or he needs that time with the team. Like those last 4 weeks of LCS spring to be able to like function, right? I feel like you just need to like light a fire. Like I want to see Tactical used as a starter to motivate Doublelift to make Doublelift better so that we get back like best AD carry in NA Doublelift. That's my long-term goal.
Do we have double playing in Academy till then?
I don't think so, bro. I think he'll lose his mind. I think he'll kill someone. I don't think you can put him in Academy, bro.
Tactical gets
His
reps,
ego.
baby.
Oh my god. No. Somebody will die. Somebody will die. You can't do that. Safety precaution, bro.
Is it Mike Young or Sharnfire right now for
Dude, I don't care. Whichever one it is, just have the other one play fucking AD.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
God. Dude, having double play with Mike Young would be so fucking good. Oh my god, that would get me to watch Academy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Sven play with Mike Young. It'd probably be the same thing.
So it's just so weird. It's so weird thinking about the fact. It feels really surreal right now, sitting in my seat, thinking about the fact that we're talking about benching Doublelift. Like it feels weird. And then I think about in history, when has this happened? Well, it feels like Peter's done this multiple times, where in that moment where he needs to either change or step up or whatever, there's always a team that's going to go ahead and pick up Doublelift, either on his reputation or on, even where he's at right now, probably better than half the AD carries in the league. So that's one thing I think about. The other thing is another big personality-driven player that gets replaced by another AD carry that is more of a plug and play. It goes all the way back to when you were playing. No, Chaox. Chaox getting
Chaox Turtle. This is
Chaox
completely different,
right? Like it, but it feels
not
like
really.
that.
It's
It
not
feels
that
like
different,
right? Chaox was a massive
Chaos
personality.
gave ultimatums. Chaos gave ultimatums to the team. Do this or I'm out. Do this or I'm out. Do this or go fuck you guys. You guys need me.
Yes.
I'm the fucking MVP.
Maybe
Like,
it's not as toxic
Chaos
as
was,
that.
Chaos was delusional about who he was on the team. At least double like his ego, and like he's backing it up. Like he has the fucking resume. Chaos was just
he backed it up. He backed it up before. Like his ego cannot be this high with the level that he's playing at right now. Like he did not look good. Like there was a time, right? Like when if you go watch Face Check season 3, and after week 3, and we made a fucking like we didn't do like an official tier list, but we just discussed like where you'd have to put him. He was like the 9th or 10th best AD carry in the league after like he had 4 Sentinel losses at that point, or 3 Sentinel losses, some shit like that. He was losing every game, even in the games where he was getting like his champions. He was dying a lot in lane, like the Zyracon game versus TSM. He died a lot. He died 2 times before level 4. It wasn't like this guy was like popping off in LCS. Like he was inting LCS, right? Like he was really running it. So when you have a player that's performing bad, it wasn't like it's like, oh, he's just performing like a little bit bad for Doublelift. There was a point where you'd have to put people like Altec over him. And Altec wasn't even that good, but it's like, yeah, I mean, he was actually just either the worst or the second worst AD carry in the league when he was playing for the majority of the weeks. So, sure, before he was really great, right? He is the best AD carry in the history of NA, for sure. I'm not trying to take that away from him. I just try to live in the fucking present, and I don't care about somebody's name when they're not living up to it in that moment. Like, people can change fast, right? Soaz was considered like one of the GOATs 2 years ago at this time.
And now
Right,
he's
like
in
he was-
NA.
Yeah. And now people are like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, no one cares about him anymore. Like,
Okay,
shit
boomer.
changes fast in the league. The second you lose motivation, people are fucking hungry these days.
So but you're not worried about the potential longer term damage of losing double lift and you know,
Dude,
again, getting benched
like-
for tactical dog.
I don't think that it matters as much as people think. Like that he has experience. Like we see people just come out of nowhere and like end up really good pretty quickly all the time, right? And there's other AD carries that I think are serviceable, and you put them in the right environment, they will give you similar results,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Let's-
and it's the same thing I said at the beginning of the split. Like one of my hot takes, which apparently I'm wrong about all my hot takes, even though hot takes which are supposed to be low percentage, I've been right on like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But one of my hot takes
Johnson.
was that I thought Johnson was going to be a beast, right?
Mhm.
Like see him in solo queue, I just thought he was going to be a beast. Do you really think that there's that much of a skill discrepancy between Doublelift and Johnson right now? That like when Doublelift is in form, he's just providing so much more to the team. Like it's AD carry, bro. It's different with other roles. AD carry is the most plug and play role in the game, in my opinion, because you just have to go in there. Like if people like you just have to know how to catch side waves when you need to. Fucking group with the fucking team and just do damage and play mechanically well. It is the most plug and play role you have in professional. And we've like, so to me, it's like maybe for other people, there's like maybe for a mid laner or like a really good jungler, it's like, okay, well, how much do they bring to the team? Because those are the people that are normally like dictating how the game is played throughout it. AD carry is just is really just like, hey, you just need to play well mechanically. I feel like it has the easiest transition from solo queue into LCS.
Okay. All right. Well, Daniel, we talked about this topic enough. I will say one point, and then we can move on.
Okay.
2020 is when Doublelift's contract ends, and TL has renewed Core JJ. Not saying they won't renew Doublelift, but this is end of his contract year. So how this year goes and how Doublelift feels like TL treated him, and vice versa, is going to matter a lot if their plan is to keep Doublelift going into the future. They might go very budget next year. I mean, they already have Core JJ signed. They could go something like Core JJ tactical, Sharnfire, top mid lane. They could do something like that. But yeah, something to keep in mind.
I mean, I think that he still will have time to like earn his spot back. Like, I don't think it's like, oh, you're just fucking bench forever. I just hope that they at least let Tactical play more, right? Like let at least Tactical have some like bad weeks or something. You can't be on a team that's struggling, right? And this is a team that like, if you just look at it in the context of like the league, you take away like all the ideas about it. Where it's like, oh, this is supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. You just look at factually where they were, right? They were 4 and 6th. I think that 4 and 6. I think they were tied for like 7th. I think they were like in this massive tie for 7th going into the week. And you just had somebody come in and you just like won both games, and suddenly you look like a top team. If that's what the facts are, just play with the guy that's making you look like a top team. Like just do it. Just do it for a little bit. Like this is not time to be like experimenting with shit. And like playing for the long con, like you want to get the practice, you want to get to MSI if you can, right? People say Spring Split doesn't matter. MSI fucking matters. Like I talked to fucking Perks on the Crackdown, and that team grew at MSI, right? Like that was what kind of shaped them as like, oh, now we have the confidence when we go into best of fives that we can beat Korean teams and like top teams in the world. Like we can be the best team in the world. Like it's useful to get onto that MSI stage and play in matches that matter versus teams for different regions. So I feel like that should be your goal, you know? Like no one really cared about Spring Split points anyway. If you think about it, like Spring Split never really mattered that much. It's not like a situation where TL won the last 4 splits, right? It didn't matter that they won Spring the last 2 years. They would have just qualified to Worlds as the 1 seed because they won Summer both times. Like I think that the whole approach of like, oh, you want to like ramp up towards the season, towards the end of the season, is too lost on certain players. Like it's such like a crazy concept to me that it's like, oh, like we don't want to be the best all the time, we'll just be the best when it matters. It's like, well, the way that you become the best is by trying to be the best consistently, and you develop habits and you develop like formulas to how you improve and how your team functions at its highest level, and then you try to emulate them all the time. Like I'm okay with like people taking breaks once they have the formula down. But whenever you have like a new team, like new replacement, whatever, you really want to get into the habit of like, okay, this year, this season, because every season fucking changes, we got to understand how to be good at League. And then you work towards that. I don't think it just happens by accident, or you can just like choose to do it whenever you want.
Goodness, I never thought I'd hear the words MSI matters coming out of Dom's mouth early in the year.
Doesn't matter to me. It's got to matter to them.
That's fair. All right. We've talked this one into the dirt. I wish we would have talked a little bit more about tactical, but the significance comes from the fact that addition by subtraction. Also in the same kind of vein, the team didn't do that when they did that with Schernfire. It wasn't addition by subtraction. That was just subtraction, and they didn't look that great. So again, Schernfire just gets the short end of the stick, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so TL 2-0 for the first time since Broxa has joined. Big moves for them, and we'll see where they go from here. Grats on tactical with his 100% win rate, but you assume that Doublelift comes back from laryngitis and should be fine and inserted back into the lineup. A team that would wish they could have a player of Doublelift or Tactical's caliber, because they had both of them earlier at some point in their careers. Was TSM. What the fuck is Maokai mid? Please, someone explain this to me as like, I get it a little bit. It's strong, high solo queue win rate. Loco, please help me with this.
So Sunfire got changed on 10.4. Whenever you CC someone, you do pulse like flame damage. Like, so Maokai is someone that can CC people consistently. He has 3 different forms of CC in his kit, so he uses Sunfire really well. And that's kind of the rationale behind Maokai. One reason why TSM looked really bad with it, a key point of Maokai is you need to flank. When you're not flanking as Maokai, your ultimate is worthless. It travels at like, it's like a fucking turtle, like crawling across your screen. Like, no one ever gets hit by it. And this TSM could not flank it, like, to save their life. And also, one thing that showed from this weekend is TSM is a very much Broken Blade oriented team. When Broken Blade is not on a champion that can carry, and when they aren't playing through Broken Blade, like he played Kale and Mordekaiser, and he wasn't the core part of their draft and the core part of their game.
I think he was the core part of the Kale draft.
I mean,
who's the core part if it's not him?
Sure. Let's go to the Kale draft. Like, the draft is Varus, Tahm Kench, Sejuani, Kale, Maokai. Like, for this draft to function, Kale has to hit level 16, and then they have to start taking. Okay, how do you view it?
I think Kale just needs 11 Gunblade, and then I think that
11 is the PowerPoint for Kale. I remember you saying this earlier.
Yeah, so I think that 16 doesn't really matter on Kale anymore. You don't get true damage waves like you used to. So I think that Kale is just a champion that outscales set early. Like, if you're even in the lane as Kale and you hit level 7, you've already outscaled the set, right? Like, you're already just going to win the side lane for the rest of the game. So I think that the problem was that he got fucked early, right? Like, he died to a gank that he shouldn't have died. He played poorly. I think he was the focus of the draft. Like, you have a Maokai mid, right? I think the jungler was Sejuani that game. You have a Maokai mid and a Sejuani, and then you have like a stable bot lane. You have a Tahm Kench bot lane. Like, the Kale is supposed to fucking win this game for your team, but he just ended up having like a really, really bad game. That was like, he just had 2 bad games this week. So I feel like that was the rough part about the games for TSM. I think that Kale is fine, but it was played poorly, and they were running like a 1-threat comp, in my opinion.
So they were running a 1-threat comp, and let's talk about the Kale game more. How I viewed it was not so much Broken Blade's fault, but how the team played with him and around him. You talk about him playing bad early, right? But in the early game, where Set has push priority because he's a Set, and you're a melee champion as Kale before level 6, so you're going to get pushed in and pushed out. Like, you don't really have control over the waves. So naturally how it happens is you get pushed in, and then your wave bounces and it starts pushing out, and you need your jungler on that side walking with you to make sure the wave can safely bounce out. What happened was Jensen was able to get priority early because he picked up random summoners, and he fucked with Dardoch's pathing. When Dardoch was on chickens, Jensen went and fucked with Dardoch, so Dardoch had to move back from his chickens. He couldn't do red, and he started golems, but he was really delayed. So when his wave is pushing out, Dardoch's on golems, and he's late, and Impact and Broxa were ganking Broken Blade. Should he have been smarter and given him the wave? Yes, but he also wasn't like working very well with his team. So we can lean that one more towards
A
Broken Blade.
team win rather than still on Broken Blade. Okay.
It is still majorly on Broken Blade, but the game plan that they had got messed up and they couldn't adapt as a team. And Broken Blade stayed up there. Maybe he called for Dardoch, maybe he didn't call for Dardoch. I don't know, but if they had a game plan to make sure his early laning was
It
safe.
felt like he did, because it felt like you could see BB like hesitating. He's like, all right, fine, I'll try to go and fix this wave and right into the gank. And it was like, oh well, that just
as top
looks
lane,
kind of broken.
he knows 100% his wave is fucked and the jungler is going to be topside. So I'm sure he made the call. I don't know what the call was, and I don't know how him and Dardoch communicated, but there must have been a call from Broken Blade side. Or he has to be like a fucking gold level player to not know my wave is pushing out. It's versus a set. Gragas is topside. I need my jungler there. There has to have been a call made.
Yeah, no, that was just bad. There was definitely just like synergy issues there. And then also, I think that the pathing was different than what you'd want if that is going to be the situation. Like your whole goal when you're playing jungle with that type of team comp, especially when you're Sejuani, right? You're not a jungler. It's not like he's playing like Rek'Sai or some shit that needs to get ahead. Sejuani is fine just doing whatever the team needs, and then like throughout the game, you're okay even if you're a little bit behind. You're still going to be able to do your job. So I think that in that type of game, you should be pathing differently. You should be pathing to get level 3 as fast as possible and be on the top side of the map. But instead, Dardoch full cleared his bot side, and then he like tried to do rap. Like he was trying to essentially full clear. So I think there needs to be just synergy between the lanes where it's like, okay, this is how like our game goes. What's our win condition this game? Is it Sejuani being fucking strong and being as ahead as possible? Or is it having our fucking Kayle like 1v9 the whole game because the set can never answer in the split push? It's like, oh, well, so Sejuani's not going to carry, the Kayle is? Okay. We're just going to path around the Kayle. Like, I'll skip Wolves, I'll do red, and I'm just going to be up there first because Gragas does not get top before Sejuani when they're just both doing 1 camp, 2 buff clear. Yeah, 3 camp clear. So it just needs to be like, hey, this is what I need to do. This is what I need from you. I'm fine once I'm 6 or once I'm level 6 or once I'm level 7 because then I have range on the enemy. So then the set can't just walk up to me. But like to be able to play the game, I need you top here. They just have to be pathing around what their win condition actually is.
And then the other big thing where I felt like it wasn't Broken Blade's fault, and I probably should have iterated my point better, they don't need to fight in the mid game at all, and they have no reason to fight. Sett and Kayle, the relationship between the two champions, it gets better and better for Kayle as the later the game goes. And what happens is the Sett team is like, no, you can't do that. We're going to keep stacking dragons. We're going to play around Baron. You have to come to us. TL wasn't doing that very well. TL wasn't starting Baron. TL wasn't stacking multiple dragons. Kayle could stay bot lane. Kayle had TP up. And TL's also a very slow Baron comp. It's Zoe Miss Fortune. They're not going to have a lot of damage on Baron. And TSM randomly started
Gragas sucks at taking it too.
Like, did you guys watch that play where they sent 5 people mid? They're trying to hit turret versus a Miss Fortune who clears it instantly. And then the Braum engages. Braum engages. And then Sett's coming in from the side.
Behind,
Gragas is coming from the other angle, and my head is just fucking blown. Why is the Kayle not in a side lane pushing versus the Sett? And the thing is, Broken Blade knows. Like, this player is good. This player understands how to split push. He did that in 2019 spring. And for some reason, someone's making the call to say we need to group up mid right now, try to hit tier 1 versus a Miss Fortune team, and let's all get flanked and lose the game.
Wait, they all know. They all know. Wait, why are we giving Broken Blade a pass?
They should all know, but as a top laner, your natural inclination, and you want to split push. You don't want to group. Like when you're playing the champion where the win, you are the biggest part of the win condition, right? That's what we talked about as this comp. This is like a 2-threat comp with the Varus and the Kayle. The Kayle has to say, I want to be split pushing. I'm going to hit my power spike here. I have TP up. Make sure we have 2 blue trinkets. Mid and AD run 2 blue trinkets. Make sure we're constantly checking Baron. I will only group when we absolutely fucking need to. Like that has to be the Kayle mindset, and that has to be Kayle vocalizing it. Should the whole team know the win condition? Yes, but it is Kayle that knows that the most, and it is the most important to Broken Blade. So he should be the one that's most vocal. He should be letting the team know, hey, this is my power spike. Hey, this is how I am in the current status of the game.
I think the matchup, like throughout the game, it just showed how good the matchup was, because Broken Blade was like super behind, right? He's like behind like 20 CS in the lane. I think Sett got the first blood on him as well. I think Sett was the one that got the kill, right? So there was a point where Sett had like a Triforce or components of the Triforce bot lane, and Kayle only had Bilgewater Cutlass and Greaves. and he was hard winning the fucking split with just like he's literally down like 2k gold in items, and he's still just like hard winning. The set can never walk up to him. So like you can see why they drafted that, because when you look at teams, right, you have to think about like, okay, what does it look like in scrims to them? And that's why you get a lot of like these junglers. You get a lot of these drafts where it's like, the fuck, why did Dig pick Elise first? Elise did nothing in the game. It's because you normally are just way further ahead in your scrims, and especially like what you're pulling out on stage is whatever you've had the most success with in scrims normally. So you could tell that it's just like, damn, like this is what they're used to. Like they're used to fucking having like a gunblade on the Kayle at that point, just like hard dicking the set at the turret, like just getting the turret in front of the set's face, you know? It just ended up not being that, like because of the early mistake and the pathing.
I don't get why they don't just play ball comps if they're going to do this. Like, just play Ori, Victor mid lane, and just play a team fighter top, because that's exactly how they played out this draft. They played it like a ball comp. They wanted to group up and team fight, and they didn't utilize Maokai needing to flank, and they didn't utilize, like, Kayle needing to side lane. Like, TSM just did not understand how they should be playing this draft at all.
I just think that they need to really, like, I think that they should just be a top focused team. Like, that is their identity, right? Like all teams have different identities right now. Like I'd say for the most part, C9 is kind of like a bot centric team. Like they always try to have good matchup for their bot lane, and their bot lane's like always the one that is pushing out so that they can do dragon, pushing out so they can like swap and get herald. Like they're always have first move from bot side, right? And Nitsky's willing to like sacrifice CS and stuff to roam to bot lane to just like fuck the lane up, right? Mm-hmm. That's what people are doing. I think TSM just needs to be the opposite of that. They just have to be top focused, and they actually have to play for the top win condition. Like when you get somebody like Kabi on your team, you just want a stable AD carry that's going to team fight well. He's going to end up strong no matter what, and you don't need to play towards that guy. Like he's good about like making the right decisions and not dying for no reason. Like that is what Kabi's strength is. So you should be a top focused team. You should be playing for your top win condition all the time. You should be pathing your jungler around like a top win condition if that's the situation. And to me, they're not playing enough for BB. Like the times when TSM has looked the best of split were like Broken Blade's Kiana game, right? Where he's just popping off. I mean, essentially every single game that Broken Blade's carried, they've looked good.
Yeah.
The times where they look bad is when they try like all these other types of things. Like even the game versus TL, like second game of the season, where Elise just camped bot the entire time. They gank bot. It was like Leona into Zyra Khan with Elise, and they get 2 kills before like level 4 on Doublelift, and then they're still just like not able to snowball the game through bot lane. Like they just don't have that type of style. The person that wants to snowball the game, or that's the best at snowballing the game for this team, is Broken Blade. So even if he had a bad week, I hope they keep the identity of like playing through him, because he is their win condition.
100% agree with you, and there's an elephant in the room we need to bring up because of that point. Bjerg has not looked good this split, other than on Syndra.
Thank you. That's what I've been waiting to get to. I was like, how are we playing through Broken Blade, who I think rightfully so has earned it, Dom. This is the right way to play with this team. When you have Bjergsen on the team. I knew this was the week that we were going to talk about, hey, look, time to bench Doublelift. Hey, look, Bjergsen is no longer in the top 5 players currently performing. You could probably even go a little harder if you wanted to there. Like, what do you do? What do you do with a player like that, Loco, since you're the one that brought it up?
He looks great on Syndra, and then he had a win on Ornn. And I mean, Ornn is just good on. He looked Ornn is Ornn now, but Ornn is Ornn, right?
Sure, like, but there's people that have looked bad on Ornn.
I mean, you might have D tits, but you are XL size. Those are natural D tits, but your clothing says XL. You know
what the fuck?
What was that, dude?
What are you talking
Please
about?
Explain. Please explain
before we
Ornn is OP. Looking good on Ornn is like Ornn is fucking OP. Ornn is literally the most broken.
Dude, I don't know what tits you've seen, but all D tits do not look good just because they're big. I don't know if that's a fucking comparison you're making.
Loco is not a butt guy.
There's some nasty-ass D tits out there.
Loco, not a butt guy.
Size is not the only thing that matters, Loco.
Oh my god!
Gracious.
All right?
Yeah, I care more about personality, but we can get to that some other time. But anyways, he looked great on Syndra. He looks good on Ornn, and then he has another win on Zoe, but that was versus EG, where EG was actually winning majority of the game, and then EG threw like crazy. I don't think he even looked that good on Zoe. So yeah, Bjergsen has really only looked good on Syndra. So, and teams have started to recognize that. In the last 2 games, they had Syndra banned against them before Bjergsen got to pick.
Yeah, no, I mean you should ban ban Syndra. And that's one of the things I said about TSM. If you want to win every draft, if Syndra's up, you take it first 3.
No.
You just take it first 3 every single fucking time. Because that is literally one of the, like, that is one of the things that will just allow you to win the game. It's like, oh, Bjergsen on Syndra, we're just going to have mid-prio the entire time. And we saw what fucking Bjergsen Syndra versus Ryoma Zoe looked like. We got to see Ryoma get solo killed all over the fucking map, dude. He was bending Ryoma over mid lane. They tried to match him top lane. Fucking Syndra in the side lane is fucking solo killing the LeBlanc, which is normally when LeBlanc is able to like use bushes and like get angles onto the Syndra.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just like last year where we got like booty blasted for putting Bjergsen first, and I really rethought this. This year, I don't think I can put Bjergsen higher than 3. At least
I have him at 4.
Who's your 3?
My top 3?
Yeah, it's
Dude,
Power
what-
Vivo,
Nisqy,
Power
Power
Vivo,
Vivo.
Power Vivo.
And
Oh,
Jensen.
Oh yeah,
Jensen.
Jensen. Hold it.
Jensen.
I completely forgot about
It's
Jensen.
Nisqy,
Actually,
Power Vivo, Jensen. Top
Yeah,
3.
you're right, he's
100%.
You're right. He's
Mhm.
4.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's 4. And like,
let me find it.
then 5 and 6 is Jizuke and Froggen in whatever order. I would probably put Jizuke a little bit above Froggen right now.
He's like a hard 4. There's no way he even scratches 3. Actually,
Mhm.
he's not.
Yeah. It's just like the thing is, like, I don't even think that he's played that well. It's just that Froggen and Jizuke have been so inconsistent that I just can't put them higher than 5 and 6.
Wow. Dude, I don't know what's going on with Bjerg, because life is actually very fair in a certain sense. If you put in the work, then you'll get results. And Bjerg puts in more work than anyone that I know. Like,
Yeah, but
he is so dedicated to the game. He has like nothing else. He could have everything else going for him. Like, people like him. He could have a social life.
Mhm.
He can have other hobbies. He makes the sacrifice to make sure he's just so focused on the game and to get better. So I can't see why he's not one of the better players. Like, it's.
I mean, I think it's because he just values, like, he's trying to fix the whole fucking team. And it's like, I think that at some point it became less about him and more about like how I'm going to lead this team. Like, and he's making sacrifices. Like, there's games where he's played bad, but there's also games where, like, the Maokai game, like, I don't think that this guy wants to be fucking playing Maokai. I'm not like, he's like, I'm not sitting there like,
But
dude,
he
he's like,
believes that though. He believes for the team to be better, he'll play Maokai. And
yes,
that's
because
what-
he believes in Broken Blade solo carrying a game on Kale because he probably thinks that Broken Blade's the best player on the team.
Maybe the best carry, or maybe that he's more flexible, so therefore he can play that role. Like, do you think that Bjerg actually thinks
He
he's
wasn't-
not the best player on his team?
I think that Bjergsen probably thinks that the best way for them to win is when Broken Blade is popping off. Like, Broken Blade is like a high low type player, right? Like, he's not like a very like
Why can't
stable
Bjergsen be
to go-
popping off? Why can't that be their win condition? Like, Bjerg.
Well, I think it's pretty hard for mid laners to really pop off right now. Like, Nisqy does it well,
They're
but he
very
works so
evil.
well.
Nisqy doesn't pop off. Nisqy allows other
Yes,
people on the
he
team
unlocks
to
the
pop
other
off.
lanes. Correct.
Yeah, but I think that's more of popping off that like from a mid lane position because Nisqy is just like making all the plays. Like, that's what I care about more than like who's the strongest is like who is making the plays for his team. And I feel like Nisqy just makes a bunch of fucking plays for his team. Like, he just works well with his jungler. I feel
But
like
there's the other half to that playstyle, which is, hey, I'm gonna be greedy. I want the support to come to mid lane. I want the jungle to come to mid lane. I'm gonna get strong and I'm gonna carry in team fight. And we have that in Pyre Beeble, and we have
And
that
you
in
have-
FlyQuest.
yeah, you
But
have
why
that-
can't TSM be that team also? Like,
Be a
Bjerg
better
plays all
FlyQuest.
Bjerg plays Corki, like Bjerg plays Victor, Bjerg plays Ori, like
Orianna,
all
yeah.
the stuff Pyre Beeble is doing. I feel like I've seen Bjergsen do, and I've seen Bjergsen do better.
I just feel like you have less. I feel like it's a way to be strong, but I feel like you have a less agency in the game when you actually do that. Like that's how that's kind of what I see with Froggen, for example, right?
Mhm.
Is like, okay, Froggen will end up strong, but he's not actually doing anything in the game, so you have to rely on your teammates just getting you there, you know? So
And you don't think Bjerg has teammates to be able to do that? Because
to get him there, I think
we're talking
that-
about who Bjergsen is, right? And like why they aren't doing that. Because I feel like that is Bjergsen. I feel like Bjergsen at its core, without
like
like all this
carry
like
work. Yeah.
TSM bullshit and all like, hey, I need to fix the team, I need to be a leader. The Bjergsen I remember and the Bjergsen that popped off is like, I'm the Giga carry. I solo killed everyone in LCS. I'm
Mhm.
still a European mid laner. Like, I can 1v9 for the team. 'Cause that's the Bjergsen. Like, that is who Bjergsen is to me. And like
Mhm.
this kind of like lead our Bjergsen, this kind of enable other Bjergsen. Sure, those are good things, and sure, like those are some things I try to impart on Bjergsen also, and some things you need to do. But at his core, Bjergsen is a giga carry, and I feel like TSM should allow that a lot more.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. It just seems like from his perspective, it's kind of gotten like beat out of him. It's like, shit, I tried this shit so many times to be the Giga carry and it never ended up working out. Like, it's like, dude, fuck it, man. Just put me on Maokai. I'll do anything to win at this point, dude. He's just like, he's the guy that's like went through withdrawals and everything, and he's just sitting on like the corner. He's like this homeless guy sitting on the corner with the
Could
fucking.
I have a finals, please? Good
Yeah.
sir? Could I go to
Yeah.
a finals once
He's
in a
like,
while?
dude, I'll suck a dick for fucking finals, bro. I don't give a fuck.
I know.
But that's the point, no, Dom. He hasn't made finals in such a long time, playing like this, like supportive, like enable others play style. Like he has to look around and be like, you. At least when we played around me, we went to fucking finals. We were fucking winning titles.
Yeah. Then again, when people were playing around him and they were winning titles, you know, they weren't all these good players in the league. It was just different. It was a different league, and then I think it was also a different meta. You know,
Like why
right
are we
now-
betting on Broken Blade instead of Bjerg? Like
Because right now, top lane is a fucking massive like ability. Like top lane has such an ability to carry. Right
objection, Your Honor. FlyQuest, Viper's one of the worst top lane, and they're above TSM.
That's a very good point.
Sure, but that's like not. I don't think that FlyQuest is like a great team. Like, sure, they're above TSM, but
They're
what does that
second.
even mean?
They're
Okay,
second.
yeah, they're second in LCS. Like that to me.
No, don't take that argument there. I think Loco actually has a good point. You're saying in LCS there should be, you know, an identity, a way to play through, and for whatever reason, with lesser parts, FlyQuest.
I think that is a ridiculous mentality. Being like, all right, let's model ourselves after fucking FlyQuest at this point. Like, what
Well,
the fuck? FlyQuest is good because everyone else is bad. FlyQuest is not actually good.
Well, TSM is one of the bads right now, so they need to start being good.
No,
I
they're
feel
not
like
one of the bad. Okay, where would you rank them in LCS if you were to?
I don't know. They just
Three?
lost to trash CLG. Like,
I think
Sure.
it might be, like if we played out in this moment, like everyone has to play for their lives. I think TL might be better than TSM.
Yeah. Okay, so they're fourth, and FlyQuest is second. They're 2 games behind FlyQuest. Like, do you really think that they should be so desperate that they're trying to model themselves after fucking FlyQuest?
Well,
Like,
I'm not sure
FlyQuest has to play a certain way because they have Viper and Wild Turtle on their team. That's not like optimal playstyle or somebody that you need to just fucking like. You have to be like, oh shit, like this is like the way, man. We just need our top laner to play Ornn and somehow end up 40 CS behind every single fucking game. Oh, we just want to be 10k gold behind to Leah Pantheon comp and just scale with fucking Yuumi. Like, FlyQuest doesn't look good when they win half the time. They're good because everyone else is fucking bad.
dude, but TSM's worse than that right now. Like, is this the future of the team? Like,
Yeah,
let's say
yeah, sure. They are worse than that right now.
before all the way through. Like, let's not go to finals again. If FlyQuest can be
Dude,
two
when they went
playing
to
that
finals,
style-
the best player in finals for TSM when they were in
Was
spring
Broken
finals
Yes, it
was
was
Broken Blade by far.
by far.
Like, wasn't even fucking close. Like, he put Impact into the floor the first 2 games that they played. So having this mentality all of a sudden where it's like, nah, you know what? I don't know if he's good enough to carry the fucking team. Dude, mid lane right now is so stable in terms of the champions that people can pick.
Mhm.
Zoe, Syndra, Orianna, LeBlanc, Victor,
Maokai,
all these champions,
apparently.
you're not gonna actually win the game off having these champions. So like you need to be able to play through a fucking side lane. Like C9 plays well,
I think
but
that's
through their bot lane.
I think that's a far gone conclusion, though. I don't think any team in NA is going to beat C9. So for TSM to get the best result possible and for them to really utilize all the pieces they have, I do think they lean more into Bjergsen being a carry. Maybe take just a little away from Broken Blade. Maybe, like, I still want Broken Blade to be the carry, but I want the 2 shining stars on TSM to be Broken Blade Bjergsen. And right now, it feels like there's only 1 star on TSM. And I'm just like, you guys know you have a Bjergsen, right? You guys know what this kid did, right? Like, this fucker, like, carried me to 2 trophies. Like, Bjergsen was Bjergsen was
True.
so
True.
easy to coach, and playing through Bjergsen,
He was the best player in the league for a long ass time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm saying he can still be up there. He can definitely still be up there as like a carry player, and I don't get why they're not enabling that.
I mean, I think that I don't think that he should be on Maokai duty. I think that he should have characters with more agency in the game for sure. I just think that it should still be a top centric team. That's all I care about, is that they still use top as their win condition, because that is their massive advantage, is that Broken Blade plays a bunch of weird fucking champions that no one else plays and no one knows how to deal with. And that's like the thing that I think is going to make them like special, right? I think Bjergsen can play all the other stuff that everyone else is playing. I think he can play Victor, Orianna, Zoe. Obviously, had a bad Zoe game this week, but I think he can still play Zoe pretty well. LeBlanc, Syndra, like he can have that champion pool. But the thing that like is going to make them scary is when they're actually playing well around a kill, and it's like fuck, like the priority picks for top lane, which we normally see a priority. We see top lane in the first 3 now, right? It's like people pick Set, Aatrox, or if it's ever up, they pick it, and then like everyone else just kind of fits into like, oh, if they picked Aatrox early, then maybe we'll counter pick with like Camille, or oh, they picked like Set early, maybe we'll have Kumo play Zac and run it down for fun. Like everyone just has like some opportunity to like play around those core champions. But what your advantage is from my perspective, is you want teams to be like, fuck, I mean, if we first pick Set, what are we going to do about the kill? Oh, if we first pick Aatrox, are they going to play Kiana top into us? Like that is the thing that makes them like scary as a team. So I just want that to be more of a core part of their strategy.
I think we're on the same page. That is going to be TSM's core strategy, but also let's enable Bjerg on top of that.
Yeah, just don't put him on Maokai. Oh, I'm not trying to argue that he deserves to be on Maokai.
Maokai, Ornn. Yeah. So
Ornn is fine. Everyone play Ornn. If you want to do good,
you're never getting Ornn this patch. If you give up Ornn this patch, fucking fire your coach. Fire your coach, dude. I'll coach you.
So we were talking about enabling some of the other lanes. I think one of the other most important players in newest editions of TSM to do that is Dardoch, and he did not have the greatest game. You talked earlier about the tough level 1, I guess, in game 1 with Broxa, Jensen kind of messing up his camps, then just constantly just chasing. But then he got wiggled on by Mr. Griffin, Wiggly, with CLG. Not only just this week.
You got fucking wiggled on.
No,
shit.
no, dude.
Dude,
not
you can't
only this
get wiggled
week.
on.
No,
You can
Minnesota
never get
style.
wiggled on.
Not only this week,
Minnesota
but like let's take a look at Dardoch overall. So you can do this week too, and then like how has Dardoch done so far? Because we're having this discussion now about like, hey, where are we playing through? What's the identity? I mean,
He's
the
been
one
bad
that
this split.
facilitates that.
That was my hot take that was wrong. I thought he was gonna be a top 2 jungler. Like I tried to do like little tier lists in my head. I have him as like 5th or 6th. Like he's just not been good this split.
I called it, and you called me a hater.
What'd you say?
I said
He
Dardoch
called
wouldn't
it.
be that good.
He called it.
I said
Well-
Dardoch wouldn't be that good.
You said that he wouldn't be good, and then he would implode. Like the imploding part is the part that
Yeah.
Dude,
that I was
it
waiting for.
feels like I don't know why. I feel like I've watched Dardoch enough. I can see when he's just not happy. Jarvan and Sejuani game. Those 2 games that he just played, he just looks like he just doesn't want to play those fucking champions. He looks like he's just like phoning it in. You know, like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, yeah, no, I engaged. We couldn't follow up. Oh,
If that's what the team
I'm
needs,
lucky.
I'll fucking do it. Oh, if that's what the team needs, then
Yeah.
that's what the team needs.
no, Dardoch has this like childish mindset where he's like, okay, like I'm gonna fucking do what you want me to do, but I'm gonna half-ass it so that you end up coming back to like my side. It's like, no, dude, like look, I played Sejuani. Oh, maybe I'm just not good at Sejuani then. Maybe we just can't play Sejuani. Like that's how I feel like he looks when he plays these champions. It looks really forced, and it looks very, I don't know. It's really unsettling to me because I started to see like what looks to me like, oh, well, if Dardoch's not happy, normally there's other stuff that comes with him not being happy.
There's 2 things Dardoch's really great at. Dardoch's great at skirmishes. You put Dardoch in like a 3v3, like a 2v2, and you like just
Yep.
let him rip. He's great.
And
He knows
ruining
how to-
teams is the second one, right?
No.
No? Oh shit,
No,
what's the
no.
second one? My bad. What? No, I mean I thought you said 2 good. Okay. No, I was trying to follow. Okay, continue.
Okay. The second one is engaging. Dardoch's insane at engaging.
Oh, my bad. Didn't look like it from the Jarvan and Sejuani games. You had me fooled there.
But when you don't enable his strengths, then Josh does get extremely frustrated. And I think that's kind of what's happening on TSM. I don't think his strengths are being his strengths aren't being allowed as much. So yeah.
What's wrong? Did I trigger your PTSD or some shit? Or like what happened, man?
Actually, this one's really good from chat. He's like pretty good at engaging confrontations.
Yeah.
That's why
actually
Loco's
true, though.
freaking
No.
out right now.
That is actually true though. Josh can't handle like there being like something shitty about the team and it not being called out. So it is like a good and a bad thing, right? Like if your team can work through problems, then Dardoch's like a really good catalyst that like, hey, this is a problem. We need to start fixing this. But if it's a problem they can't fix immediately, or if it's like a bullshit
over.
problem, then Dardoch's calling it out, and everyone's just like, what the fuck do we do now? I will say, the team doesn't look like it's imploding yet. Like, the team is like actually holding on. It just
You think, knowing Dardoch, that he's handling a loss to CLG well?
of course, like he loves CLG. Like he talks about his time on CLG very fondly. He
Okay.
loved playing with Huhi. He loved it. I mean, yeah, it's one of his favorite teams.
God.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that there's no problems at all. I agree.
No, after they lost to CLG, I was all the way up in Hollywood Hills, and I could hear Dardoch yelling from LCS Studios. Holy fuck, that echoed like crazy.
Okay, we get it, dude. You're fucking rich, man. Like, what do you want from us?
Yeah, dude.
You're in Hollywood Hills. You're fucking you're chilling with FaZe up there. Okay,
With your
great.
XLs, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Okay.
So since we are talking about confrontation and creating conversation to find a solution, what is the solution here for TSM? You have superstar mid laner, a win condition top laner, and an exploding jungler. Who takes priority? How do you fix this right now at 6-6 and at times looking like a contender?
Just get through the split. I don't think there is like a fix for this. Like we talked about, enable Bjerg more. Understand that Broken Blade is your win condition. Play through Broken Blade, and also stop playing hard comps. TSM just fucking stop. When they played the Zoe Ezreal Senna comp, the poke comps are really fucking hard to play when enemy team has like long range engages. Like we saw the Rumble come in earlier. Like the Rumble came in very early in the draft, and then they opted into the Zoe later on, and they were like a full on poke comp. I'm like, like what you're doing, right? Like the position you're putting your players in. Don't play that comp. You're not good at it. Play ball teamfight comps with split push flavor by having Broken Blade on a winning side lane. I think that's the direction.
See, I don't even think that they're that good at actually split pushing. I just like I think that the game that to me looked the best is like I love when Broken Blade plays a champion that has the ability to like team fight. Like, so for example, I thought his set game was super good. I thought his Kiana game was super good, where he like you give him like a good matchup, something he can get ahead in, and then you allow him to like take over team fights. I don't think he's necessarily like the best split pushing top laner where he's gonna like be ending the fucking game through side lane. I think that his strength is just like really fucking a team fight for the enemy team once he's strong.
Flanking
So
Vlad, flanking
yeah.
Aatrox, flanking
Yeah,
coming in.
Those
all the times I
things are
remember
all
looking
true,
good.
but if we're gonna lean into giving Broken Blade more of a counter pick, right? That has to be like a window that TSM opens up, and that has to be more part of their game plan.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I want them to win through top, but I don't think that they want to win through top by splitting. I think they want to win through top by having top lane carry the fights. That's how I see it.
They just, I think they do need to learn how to split push for them to truly, really be successful with Broken Blade, right? Like, there's gonna be times where the 4 are weak and they can't win a team fight, but Broken Blade wins the isolated 1v1, and they're gonna have to lean into that. And if that's not part of their playbook that they can run, then this team becomes really one-dimensional. Just set up an objective, and TSM's forced to come into us. They will not be able to execute the split push.
Who does Dardoch want to play? If he doesn't look good, feel comfortable, whatever
Lee.
on Sedge. Lee, yes.
I think if you're gonna
Lee,
put him on
Gragas,
a team
Elise.
fighter, yeah, I
Lee,
would say
Gragas,
I'd put him on
Elise.
Gragas a lot because I feel like Gragas right now can make plays and does a lot of damage, and it's good at engaging. So I
Okay.
feel like that does everything that it's like almost the perfect Dardoch champion, except for the fact that it's really weak early, so it's susceptible to like losing buffs in the early game or being behind the enemy
Oh,
jungler. in
if
the early game.
Dardoch gets invaded early, holy shit.
Yeah, no, he's like the most negative. Like I fucking listened to those comms. I remember when I had your fucking. I still had the personal streams.
I guess my fucking top lane isn't fucking playing the game today.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess Sam just has his eyes closed the
God,
entire scrim.
poor-
Sam,
leave
you
our
want to open
boy
your eyes for scrim
Normo
block number 2, or like
alone.
are we just gonna lose the game?
Why are we even fucking playing this game out? My
Yeah.
top lane is ending.
like-
he
yeah, it's
wants me to fucking tilt.
It's like, is this a 15er or not? Like, come on, man. That shit is- Yeah, no, bro. That motherfucker, like, dude, it feels bad to get invaded, but he'll let you know that he is not happy when he is behind.
So the reason why I ask is because then if you have a carry on the top side of the map, who's your frontliner? Who's your tank? Do you just not have a tank? It's just Gragas. If you don't get Gragas, then what? You have Lee Sin and you hope you win the fight early, or is that why Bjerg's on Maokai Orin?
You
Dude,
can see
I mean-
comps without tanks, but it is not recommended in NA.
Dude, or just give him the good side of the tank matchup. Like, he doesn't want to be playing Jarvan into Rek'Sai, right? Because that's a matchup where you just lose and you can't fight early. So it's scary in that mentality, like as a jungler. Like you're playing the whole game like, hey, if they match a 2v2, we probably just lose, right? Give him the side of the matchup. Like, if he's gonna play tank versus tank, give him the Trundle into Sejuani. So he feels like he has agency around the map. Like he wants to be able to walk where he wants to walk. And a lot of the times when they draft certain things, like when he's playing Sejuani into Gragas, where it's like, okay, the Gragas like outganks me early and is just like able to like kind of out damage me throughout the game, and then I will end up just being tankier later on. That's just not the side of the matchup I want to see him on. I want him I want to see him always have the like strong jungle matchup or like the OP champion.
Yeah, Dardoch goes where he pleases.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think we've hit TSM to death. One day we'll get to talk about Kabe if finally everything else gets unlocked.
There's way more. There's way more.
Way more stuff. on the
Kabe and
top side of that.
Biofrost are just like in the corner. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, they're
Dude,
just
they don't
along for the ride.
matter.
He
bro.
had to
They're along
TP
for
into
the
the
ride.
top lane.
They don't
to get a
fucking
kill.
matter. Like
Right.
They're along for the ride.
they're not supposed to fucking matter though. They're supposed to just like have good attitude, be quiet, and not fuck up. That's what they want when you get Biofrost and Kabe.
Well,
Neither of those players are
You
known
can
for being
almost
like,
you can almost forget Kabe and Bio joined the team. It's about
Yeah.
the three.
who cares? Who cares?
and
Literally,
that's-
this is the change
what's
you made, dude. You had the fucking whiny prima donna AD carrying Sven. You changed it for Kabe. Now you're a top lane focused team. Play towards your fucking win condition.
When he said whiny prima donna AD carry, I was like, holy fuck! If you're gonna go all the way back to season 1 when I played for TSM,
Wait, you
Of course
played
you're
for
thinking about
TSM?
yourself.
I was one of the founding players, dog.
Founding. Oh shit.
It was me, Feedfest, Saint Vicious, Odd One. Oh, who was one of Reggie?
Reggie, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Founding members because he got found out first and he was the one released first. Were you released first? Or you dropped first? Actually, I don't know this history.
I think
No, I went-
Feedfest quit for school, right?
Yeah, Feedfest quit for school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That
But
guy was
TSM
actually insane back in the day.
TSM has had a long history of prima donna AD carries. Me, Chaox, Double Lift, Sven.
Bro,
Kabe
you
actually
played
does not
before
fit the bill.
before anyone even like knew
Turtle
that
was
League
this-
was a thing, bro.
Oh, Turtle wasn't a prima donna.
Turtle was a long period of stability.
yeah,
long
Turtle
period
and
of
yeah. Hopefully
then-
Kabe too. Yeah.
And then TSM went down the double lift path that currently even
I think Double
even
Lift Path
Tail's
is
going
fine.
through.
That was their best reign. Like that was their strongest reign on NA, Double Lift. Like
Mhm.
that was the best period of time for TSM. That was their second renaissance.
Yeah, Team
Mhm.
Liquid can say the same thing, right? It's been the best period for
That's been
Team Liquid.
TL's only renaissance. Before that, they were in relegation.
Yeah,
So
right.
yes, they have to say that.
And then,
Yep.
good way to tie this one in is probably some of the best times being a CLG fan as well. Watching Double Lift finally get to win the trophy at home and then getting booted off. That was kind of weird. But that was such a good moment. CLG win El Clasico 2, as we've touched on, between TSM and CLG. Only one-on-one after a fiesta with Immortals, but a step in the right direction for this team that looked like they couldn't punch their way out of a paper bag. Now they got Pobe. He's got all of his workout lessons. It's direction for the boys.
God.
And they get themselves a 1-on-1.
Oh
I
man.
feel like Dom feels really good whenever he does like a really good flame. I feel good whenever I make a really good joke. Daniel feels really good when he has like a really good transition.
Wait, so you just never feel good? like what? Like I don't know where this is going, man. Like I literally don't know. Like, Logo's like thinking back to like his double D like fucking comment like earlier before
He's like, yeah, that was really
Zinger,
good.
right?
Yeah, it was a zinger.
Yeah, go
And
fuck
also,
yourself.
everyone now thinks I'm all XL only. Look at my beater.
Okay, let's talk about CLG and let's talk about
Yeah, let's
Powelter
talk about
slotting
CLG.
in.
Mhm.
I think
Pro Belton
Powelter
slotting
is one of the easiest pieces to slot in. He plays pretty much everything. He doesn't draw a resource, and he's actually a good teammate. And then when he talked about in his interview and also the inside CLG shit, he talks about like teamwork and like we're working better with each other. We're listening to each other. We're solving the problems. I think Crown actually had negative synergy on the team. So I was someone that was very, very hot
I think
on
Crown was just playing bad. like too.
Well,
you know?
not just the individual bad part. Like I'll take the L on like the Crown thing, but
The year of
I-
Crown.
the year of Crown, the decade of Crown, the 2020 to 2030, it was going to be Crown.
Yeah.
But everyone heard about like Meteos and Crown not seeing eye to eye on Optic. And I kind of view that as, well, Meteos is someone that's a little hard to play with, and Meteos has his own ideas about the game. So someone like Crown that probably doesn't appreciate how NA players play the game will definitely collide with Meteos, and I saw it as really natural. And then when I heard like Crown having negative synergy with Wiggly and then not being able to work together, I'm like, actually, now this is more on Crown. And I think that's really showing for CLG, because if you replace a player and you have this kind of success and you just look this much better afterwards, then there is a lot of problems riding on that player.
Yeah. I think it's also crazy that Ruin has looked so much better with Pobelter than he did with Crown.
Yep.
You know, because you think
he
that
looks
like
good
normally
this week on what was it, Rumble?
he looked good overall. Like he played Aatrox into Camille and he just played the lane well. Like I think Ruin actually had like this is the best week that he's had. To be fair, in that TSM game, I was fucking mad as hell at Dardoch because Rumble blew his flash level 1, right?
Yeah.
And then he blew his flash again like level 7, and it's like fucking Dardoch was allergic to ganking top. Like he's so afraid of gank, and it's like you have Mordekaiser Rumble. You just need to like CC the Rumble so that Mordekaiser gets in range to press R, and Mordekaiser's just gonna bitch slap that guy in the death realm until he's dead, right?
I actually think that's a team problem. I think as a team, TSM called, we're going to play for bottom turret.
Bot side, yes.
Dardoch play for bot side, never go top. That was like a direct order from the Emperor.
Yes, exactly. That was the coach's decision. But this is like what I hate about teams when I see this. You can't be that fucking rigid in games. Like you have to go out and play League of Legends. You can understand, hey, our strategy is going to be to play through bot. But if something changes in the game where top is suddenly a free kill and you have a champ that can actually carry top, or you just like have an ability to just go up and get a free sack of gold and like just have pressure in your side lane for the rest of the game, you just gank it at some point, bro. Like you can't go into a game and be like, oh, well, we're gonna prep for like every single like situation, and if this guy loses flash, then we're gonna like only play for bot side if like the wave is pushing on. Like no, it's just you play the fucking game of League of Legends. You're playing jungle, and one motherfucker has no flash, and he's an immobile champion without a jump. Like you just need to fucking gank that at some point, man. Like you need to just go up there and kill him.
The thing about Dardoch is like that's one other thing he's so insane at. Like he smells out ganks like crazy. Like he understands.
Old
lane
Dardoch
matchups
did
really
this.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dardoch I know, the fucking like the breaking point Dardoch, he was so good. He'd go, oh, this top lane matchup at level 3, I can gank it. The wave is gonna be like this. Lorlo do this, and we'll have the kill for sure. Like this Dardoch, he just takes orders from God Emperor, and God Emperor said, we're gonna play bot side, we're gonna play around Senna and Ezreal, and we're gonna make sure we get bottom turret. And they did it in such a stupid way, where they played around bot lane so much, they gave up Herald, and CLG's like, well, okay, you guys get bot lane, but we just get mid lane for free, and we're gonna use Herald on it. Like, it was so one-dimensional way of play.
I understand like the strategy and like how they ended up trying to execute it, right? Like the first thing they did is they're like, okay, we're into Rek'Sai's Jarvan. We play for the map split, right? Because Senna and Ezreal are just going to push into the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench can never like engage on them. They're just pushing under turret, taking the turret, denying CS, doing whatever, right? That makes sense. I'm okay with them doing that at the beginning of the game. Like you can start the enemy red buff, right? That's completely okay. But I don't think that you need to commit on the map split as hard as they did, right? Like you don't have to start Talisman on Jarvan and do his bot 3 camps and try to take him out of the game like that. You can easily just go like start Machete, his red to your blue to Gromp to your red, or his red to your red, and you just like make sure that it's not a Rek'Sai with a red buff that's able to gank. Like I understand like the idea of like trying to do things that put your ball in a position to win, but it doesn't need to be the only thing you do in a game. Like when you're playing around a lane, it doesn't mean that you should never be able to like clear your top side, or you should never be able to go top side.
Apparently on TSM, it means don't fucking go top side. If I see you top side, you're not on the team.
What they got Piglet as their AD carry now, or what? What happened?
No, that's what it looked like though. Like, oh man, that was such a big problem. Holy fuck, playing around Piglet or playing around Lorlo. Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I fucking played with Piglet too. I know how it was, but the thing is, you don't have Piglet. You have Kabi, right? Kabi's okay with you going top, like if it makes sense. Like Kabi just wants to fucking win, and he wants to just like not fuck up. Like, he's gonna play well in team fights. He's gonna like, you know, he's gonna be fine in lane, and then he's just not gonna ruin the game.
Let's go back to CLG. This is one team that Daniel likes. This is one team that Daniel loves.
This is all related to CLG because they played this game into CLG, and like there are problems that CLG like shows when they're like they have just a bunch of problems in terms of like how they deal with like team situations, right? Like they just lose the game alone. Like the game versus Immortals, you got to see how bad their decision making truly is. Like people on that team just have no idea like how weak they are at certain points, or like what their job is in certain like setups.
Game was fucking over.
Yep.
They had Baron. Game was fucking over, and they couldn't just be like, hey, they have a Camille. She's gonna engage on Ezreal.
Yeah, just
Ezreal maintain
don't walk
distance.
up.
or fucking 2 people come mid lane so Ezreal can push out. They have to do one of 2 things. And the thing is, as an AD carry, you develop this sixth sense about when you're gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah, I can die.
I'm in fucking danger. There's a fucking Camille.
It should be pretty much the whole game, dude. You should feel like that all the time.
Your only fucking job as AD carry is like calling for like that is one of the roles in a 1-3-1 on AD carry when you're split pushing. Call for exactly how many people you need mid lane. I need 2 people to push out. I can push out by myself. They can never touch me. Like, you know that. And that's such a big Ezreal thing too. And it tilts me watching fucking CLG play. CLG and Immortals are probably actually 100 Thieves. CLG, Immortals, 100 Thieves are my 3 least favorite teams to watch right now.
Oh yeah, I mean all those 3 teams are horrible. Like, even though Immortals is 6-6, I don't even think that they're gonna fucking make playoffs. That team, like, they just look so fucking awful to me whenever they play. But CLG, the fact that they can't even beat them, like, there's just so many mistakes. Like, the end of the game triggered me so fucking hard. Like, anyone that was watching my costume can attest to this. I was so upset watching CLG give Elder for no reason. Right? There's no logical reason why they need to give
Ruin
Elder.
Just left to go catch that top wave. Or something,
but
right?
Ruin has TP. So you can send Ruin top earlier, have him fix the wave. Like, it's not like Camille's just going to end the game on 2 Nexus turrets in front of Ruin's face. Like, the Camille does not beat Aatrox that hard. They give Elder, give Baron, give 3 inhibs, don't fight once, and just, like, let the game end. It's like, what the fuck are these, like, calls?
But we also saw it. I forgot who it was when CLG played for... They opened mid, so the enemy team can end. Was it versus Immortals?
Yes, it was versus Immortals. Both of the games were, like, the worst games I had ever seen.
Yeah.
They were the worst 2 games of the split, CLG Immortals, both times.
I think Ruin and Smoothie must not see things eye to eye. Because I know Smoothie's a really vocal voice, and he calls for shit later on. So I'm trying to think, like, who would be disagreeing with Smoothie and who would be making their own calls? And it has to be Ruin, right?
I mean, I think that they just, like... I feel like Smoothie understands, like, what to do, but he's just not good at calling, like, how... Like, when Smoothie makes a call, he expects people to understand their role. Like, if it's like, hey, we want to, like, contest... this Drake, right? Like, we want to contest this Elder right here. Smoothie's more going to just, like, make the call and be like, okay, like, this is what the call is. This is, like, who has flash. This is how we want to play the fight, etc. He's not going to be like, hey, Ruin, like, you need to, like, push that top lane and, like, come, or, like, you're going to, like, push this top lane and then flank with, like, TP here. Like, he's not going to call us specifics. He's just going to call, like, the general idea.
Dude,
and
I think that when you have to do all that shit, like what you're talking about regarding through.
He shouldn't have to. I'm not saying he should, but I'm just saying that that's why I think that there's a disconnect, is because people don't know where they fit into the plan. Like, they can have the plan of, like, hey, let's fight this Baron, or let's control vision here, or, like, oh, we should bait Baron here. Oh, we should start Baron here. Like, he can make all those calls, but if people don't know, like, what that means to them, like, it completely changes everything. Like, then you just don't even have a cohesive plan, because your plan ends up being called off. It's like, okay, like, if the top laner doesn't know when they say, oh, we're contesting this Elder in, like, a minute, if he doesn't know, like, hey, I have to push out this wave before I go, or I need to like be with my team. I have to group because I don't have an ability to TP this fight. If I can TP, it'll be too late and we'll have already lost the fight. Like, if they don't know where they fit into the plan, then the overall call makes no sense to them, and then you just have to back off of it at some point, because you end up in situations where it's like, oh, we're gonna fight this Elder, and then Ruin's just grouped with the team while he has TP, and it's like, shit. If we take this fight, then they're gonna end the game. The Camille's just gonna TP to the top wave that's in our base, and he's just gonna end the game, and they're just gonna stall our backs, and we lose. Like, I have to go catch the wave now. It's like, people don't know what they're like, where they fit into the plan.
Yeah. Man, talking about CLG just gets me depressed. Smoothie's also like a Bjergsen type, where all he does is play games, and all he does is want to get better. So,
and he's fucking rank 5 in solo queue, spamming the fuck out of the game. He must feel so bad. It's like, how do we keep on losing, man? I'm trying my best. Like, when he spams the game, like, he has a recipe for winning, right? He's been on so many winning teams. It's like, I spam the game, I try to be the best I can in solo queue, and then I, like, try to work on shot calling and, like, set my team up for everything. So it must feel so bad for him. But I just think that the players on his team just aren't there.
He takes losses really fucking hard too, and he blames himself. He blames himself a lot. So when CLG is like 1-9, like, holy fuck, he's on suicide watch.
I don't know about that, but like,
he's not physically on suicide watch.
Right. I was like, let's walk back from that one.
Yeah. Thank you for walking me back from the cliff.
Yeah, from that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there needs to be someone else. Yeah. we need someone to walk him back now.
With CLG, and you're talking about they don't have the pieces yet. Something that caught my eye was like Stixxay ends up with a really good scoreline, but it felt like when CLG
Stixxay sucks.
Yeah, CLG was in front. He got caught out a lot of times that stunted the momentum that they had. Made up for it in team fights, but just Was getting
No,
caught out.
there was-
multiple
there
times.
was
There's
a fucking
something called responsibility as a AD carry in most carry roles. You have majority of the gold, and your champion itself is worth a lot more than any other champion in the game. So when you get caught out, it's not just like, oh, we lost our AD carry. We are losing a significant portion of our team. When a supporter or a jungler dies, sure, it matters. But when an AD carry dies, it is like on a different level, and it is like such big Achilles heel.
He has the worst quality in an AD carry, which is inability to position in team fights. Like people will always say Keith was a bad AD carry, but Keith actually had pretty good lane phases, and he was able to actually like develop leads. The problem with Keith when he was on Echo Fox was he would just somehow die first in the beginning of every team fight. He would always get caught and die for no reason, right? Like it didn't matter what champion he was on. If he was on a safe champion with like Ezreal, for example, he would somehow get caught and died, and just die for no reason.
6-8 dies before fight. He dies in
Yeah.
fight and before fight.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the death mid lane was so horrible. Like you have
Yep.
Baron, right? You literally have Baron, and your team is so much stronger. You have Baron, and then you have like a winning team fight at that point. You have Aatrox, which is going to be worth more than Camille. You have Ezreal that's spiked on 3 fucking items with Muramana. You have Orianna, which is going to out team fight a Cassio. Like you literally have no way to lose the game. Like what is going to fucking catch you there besides for the Camille? There's nothing else that can go on you, right? Like you're against a fucking Trundle as Ezreal. How do you die? You're against a Trundle Cassio as Ezreal. How do you fucking die? There should be no fucking way.
Yep.
But he ends up dying there. The other death was in the team fight where Soaz actually had the good play onto Pobelter. I mean, they should like CLG should not have walked that way. They should have just walked straight through River to Dragon and kept their front line like actually in front of their carries. But whatever. Like the fight was still winnable even after Pobelter got caught because Soaz had to suicide just to be able to like get Pobelter down. He has flash, he has E, and he just gets hit by a Cassio R. He literally just gets stunned by the Cassio R and then buys QSS for it later on. It's like, bro, you really can't play around the Cassio R
You're
as an AD
fucking
carry.
Ezreal, like your range is fucking like
Yeah, you know how hard it is to play a Cassio into fucking range poke champions? That is literally the counter to Cassio. Like the best champion in the game against Cassio in terms of mid lane matchup is like Vel'Koz.
I know
Because
some
you could
people are
just
gonna
never catch.
I know people are gonna clip me getting hit by Cassio ults as I'm playing fucking solo queue, but if you're a pro player playing on like 0 ping setup like LCS, you don't get hit by Cassio ult when you see it.
Yeah, no, and you have flash and you have E, so you literally don't even need to play the mind game of like turning around versus him. You can literally just E out of the range or flash out of the range, and just play for like your Q just outrages everything Cassio can do.
All right, let's go to the other painful team.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to double check and see like when the contract was up, but everyone on CLG is there until 2021. So another
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
everyone
that's
except,
fucking elo hell.
except the Ruin and their
God
reserve
bless.
player. Do you know who their reserve player is, Loco?
Rush.
Yeah, I had no idea they signed Rush.
Reserve doesn't
He's
even
a
fucking
streamer,
matter.
right?
But TF plays as a reserve player for TL. Like it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. There's only like 3 reserve players in the whole league, and then Rakan.
Yeah, Rakan for TL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rakan for TL. So anyway,
it's more likely Dom plays than Rush plays.
Yeah,
Dom had his
probably.
chance, man. Look, you could have
No,
been.
dude,
the,
Surenfire played well. I like, dude, there was never a chance of me playing over Surenfire. There might have been a chance of me playing over Pobelter jungle. That could have been a thing.
Pobelter jungle, Mike Young jungle, but then Surenfire came in and
Honestly, like I think that fucking Mike Young is so goddamn bad that like I don't know, man. I really just doubt that I could not at least run it down less hard than him. You know?
that's fair.
Like, I'm not saying I'll play well. I'm just saying that I could just like not int as hard potentially.
That's I agree. I think that is. Sorry, Mike.
I'm not sorry, dude. Sorry I took your job. That's all I'm sorry for.
Take a look at let's see.
I'm still a
do we
big
get out
fan.
of this?
Love your
oh,
Italy.
So
Yeah,
CLG,
love your Nidalee sin.
CLG on the way up just because they get a win, even though they ended with a loss. Immortals ends on a 1-game win streak because they got the win against CLG. What is this team? They're in 6-6 as well with everybody
suck.
else. They're
That's-
on par with TL and TSM.
Fake. It's a fake score.
they okay. They got a
suck.
lot of.
Let me finish my goddamn transition, Tom.
No, they suck. I'm not letting you finish this bullshit. You can't even begin to hype them up. Fuck this team. I have no faith.
So
Also,
that's
Xmithie has
good.
been running it. Xmithie has been
Xmithie-
sprinting
Xmithie-
it for the last like 6 games.
Smithy's making your hot take look
come true. Because at first,
Oh,
he
thank
looked
God,
good.
dude. He
At
was
first
making me
looked good.
nervous in the beginning of the season. I'm like, shit, maybe he's not bad. And then he just reminded us all, like, these last 2 games. Like, watch that Trundle game. Watch how he plays team fights. No, he is not good right now.
Okay, in their first 6 games, they're 5-1, and then in their last 6 games, or wait, let me count. Oh, their first
They're
six,
5-2. They're 5-2, and then they're just 1-4.
yeah.
That's what it is.
So they've been inting it like crazy, and a lot of their wins came from earlier on in the season. So I agree
Their
with
wins
Dom.
are fake wins.
They have that one win over TSM.
And
They
then
have that-
2 fake wins against
They have those
CLG.
2 wins against CLG. They've also had the easiest strength of schedule so far because they got to play CLG twice.
And they got that win over Golden Guardians. It's just a lot of their wins have been so fucking weird.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not ones they should have won, and then like the enemy team is like, here you go.
bro.
Don't
If
feel bad.
this team makes fucking playoffs, man. If this team makes playoffs, like I'll be so fucking sad for our region. There's no way that a team of this caliber that really has like they don't have like a player to play off of. They have no star player on their team or no like decent player on their team. They just have to hope that they make better macro decisions and the other team runs it. They actually don't have like who on their team would you say is like top 5 in their role?
Ooh,
No one. That's the answer.
Xmithy.
Fuck.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna name some junglers. You gotta tell me which one Xmithy has played better than this season.
All right, let's go.
He started from the top
Okay.
or the bottom.
All right, this is from the top. All right?
Mhm.
Blabber.
Blabber.
Fuck no. Closer.
Closer.
Fuck no. Santorin.
Nope.
Broxa.
9.5. Nope. World Finals.
Dardoch. Dardoch's been bad. He hasn't
Dardoch's
been
been
Xmithy
bad.
bad this season.
Ooh,
That
Dardoch
last
or
game, he didn't
Xmithy.
look good. This
Dardoch
last
or
week, he
Dardoch or
didn't look
Xmithy,
good.
dude. I would say like Sven Scaren's played better than Xmithy this split. I have Xmithy as like a 7th or 8th probably.
I will say this. I don't think Immortals get a lot of these wins without Xmithy. His early game has been so fucking bad, and there's time where he's just fucking.
He's had 2 good early games.
Yeah, his early game has not been good, but Immortals is good at outscaling and beating the shittier teams or
Yeah.
watching
Which is
them beat
actually what
themselves.
jungle is the worst at. That is like not when you matter anymore as a jungle.
But your shot
Outscaling.
calling does, and actually making some catches does, and that's why I think Xmithy has like a preference for Elise, which I found to be like really weird. Like he prioritizes Elise so fucking weirdly.
Wait, does he?
What-
Does he prioritize Elise that highly? Like,
There's
I mean,
time for their pick. He has 3 Elise games so far.
yeah, and 2 of them looked horrible. The TSM one and the one against CLG. I don't even remember the last Elise game. What was the other
Yeah.
Elise game?
C9 one.
Oh, that doesn't even count. They on Smash. Yeah,
Yeah.
his Elise games have all looked horrible. Like,
But he has like preference for this, and he likes making catches later on. Like one of the Immortals win condition later on is sit in a brush on a pink or on a pink ward or a red trinket, get a random pick. It's a 4v5. You can go do Baron or you can go do Elder. That has been one of their primary win conditions, catching idiots out because Xmithy's on Elise, Xmithy's on Sejuani, and they're able to get a 4v5 and start an objective.
I don't know. I have been like at the beginning, I had him as like a top 4, top 5 jungler at the split because he like you got to remember he did have good games, right? So he had the really good Rek'Sai game, and then he had like the Sejuani game into Broxah where Broxah was kind of just sprinting it on Lee Sin.
Yeah.
So he
read
had
him,
like
yeah.
some good games, but then you think about all the games. Think about how many wins they have where he played bad, right? The Elise game versus CLG that ends up being a dub, right? But you played Elise and didn't get one thing done in the early game. That's like if you play Elise and you do nothing, that's Grig status, right? You're supposed to lose. That's Grig level. Why are you motherfuckers laughing? This is just how I talk, man. Like you gotta follow me on this. So
I just wasn't ready for you to pull Grig out of sleep.
Oh, he's getting
nowhere.
flamed randomly too. But he's getting flamed like this is Xmithy flame, but he's just getting flamed like as a byproduct of Xmithy flame. Just don't lose focus. All right, it's still Xmithy flame.
okay.
So
There's burning bridges, and then there's setting the whole fucking town on fire and just leaving.
yeah, no, I'm burning this whole shit down.
Go.
All right. Okay, so there's that game, right? And then the other so there's the game where he did absolutely nothing in the early game versus TSM, where he got dicked by Dardoch in the first one as well. And then he has like the fucking Sejuani game where he got destroyed by Grig. Even Grig was shitting on him, bro. He made Grig look good last week. Not this last week, but 2 weeks ago, he made Grig fucking look good. It was the Jarvan into Sejuani game. He's had so many bad performances, man. Like, it's just been, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Immortals early game, I think it's like minus 1,004 gold at average 15 last time I checked. Like they have like no early game. And another stat that they brought up on broadcast is they had a winning record while spending more time in major deficit versus major leads. So this is not a team that plays well throughout the game. They just make a few good decisions down the line, and they're just less stupid than the other NA teams, and they play scaling comps.
I don't even think they make good decisions down the line. I think that
They
other
make
teams
better decisions. They make better decisions.
I don't even feel like a lot of times they're making the decision. Like, there's very few times where I'm like, oh, like I don't think that they made better decisions in CLG at the end of that game. I think that it's like CLG just was like, give them everything, and then they just like took. They're like, oh, like this is how we win the game. Elder, Baron, 3 inhibs. Like
the catches that Soaz makes, that is like somewhat of like Immortals making the decision.
Yeah.
And like when Xmithie's on Seju, like he does get nice engages, and they do get like good fights off of that. Like they do some things right. Like they picked up these like they didn't pick up these wins on the ground. Like they did something.
mhm.
Yeah,
I mean-
like, and I think this goes back to a whole sentiment. I saw a lot of Twitter feedback from that last game specifically of like, man, that's some ugly shit, and it is, and like,
yeah,
but in every season there are times, except for Cloud9 season this year, where you've got to win ugly. You've got to grind these games out, and you take that win. Like, think about how bad
Yeah.
CLG wished they would have that win right now. They would be 1 week out of 6th place. 1 week out of 6th place, compared to, you know, Immortals being able to beat the teams they're supposed to beat, even when they don't have their best game forward. Like, there needs to be some credit for that, so that we're even talking about them in the same breath as TSM and Team Liquid.
Daniel, why don't you open us up about Apollo Hakuo?
Yes. What do you think about Apollo Hakuo, Loco?
Give us some history.
Apollo Hakuo, I think, are the longest standing duo right now in the league, in the history.
well, I mean, they're I don't know. I mean,
active duo.
they took some time. Like Apollo is an academy.
There was a
but
break.
yeah.
There was
There's
a break.
There's a break. But I mean, in terms of matches played as a bot lane duo, they're the longest standing duo in the league. Altec was in for a little while. We were clamoring for a change. Heard there was going to be a change. For whatever reason, Ika's still there, but they switch in Altec and Apollo. Apollo now in, because he was kind of shitting on everyone in the Academy League. Now gets his
Was he?
opportunity. How did he look today or this week to you guys?
He looked
He looked
a
like
little-
Altec, bro. if you didn't tell me that there was a swap, and you didn't show face cams and you played with the same nameplate, I wouldn't have noticed. Straight up, I didn't think it mattered.
I went on and did some research and talked to former coaches and some former players, and the reasoning that I got was Hakuo is really quiet. He can communicate, but he can't shot call. He's good about giving information when he's prodded to, or like checking up on things, but he's not like a leadership type figure. Apollo, on the other hand, is really vocal, and he's actually someone that's able to shot call, and that's usually like the reverse, right? It's the support shot calling and the AD not, and that's the problem. Altec's also really, really quiet. So when you have Altec and Hakuo together, they have a bot lane that's that's just not vocal at all, and they're bot lane like swapping around, bot lane calling for Dragon, bot lane playing for Herald is extremely important, and that's part of the reason why Immortals has a bad early game. Like they're not winning lanes in general, but also they're not communicating. So this is one way they can solve the problem.
So what they
by
put in Apollo, and then Xmithie forgets how to play the game because now Apollo's telling him what to do. Like he's played like butt.
Oh no. I think Smithy doesn't know how to play the game either way. So I'll clear that up for you.
I don't think that's like an Apollo problem, but I do think it is going to look better in the future with Apollo, because I know Altec a little bit, and I know Hakuo indirectly through coaches, and that makes a lot of sense. They probably had one of the quietest bot lanes in LCS.
That's fair. But does that? So this fixes, because now, hey, look, there's a secondary, or at least I wouldn't even secondary, because Soaz is a vocal player that has been around.
But
for a
he's
while,
on the
so
other
nobody
side of the
hates.
map.
So
He's
like,
on the other-
it's important that you don't have. Who is the shot caller? Is it just now, hey, look, we're all kind of feeding information, and Jakey Boy then gets to decide, and this was just a week of rush for Jake, like having so much information this time? Or like,
Well,
what?
it's more so there's times bot lanes call for, hey, I have priority, we can reset first and go for the Herald play. Hey, we're going to have priority in 3 waves. Start playing towards bot side, mid take your reset, let's play for Dragon that's coming up. There needs to be calls made from the bot side of the map that weren't made for Immortals, and hopefully Apollo starts making these calls and bot lane's more vocal and they can actually play around the early objectives.
I think that they're literally a team that just needs to have like SOAS play like reliable, like tanky champions that can like engage later on. Just put Ica on like, because he's never going to win lane either way. So you might as well just put him on like things that scale well, like Victor, Corki, Azir, shit like that. You just put like, you just go for like strong team fighting comps and then
And
hope
that's
you
what
can
they've
just
been doing. They blind
survive through lane.
They're shitty FlyQuest.
Do you think Ica gets benched?
For
I
who?
hope to
Who's their
fucking
mid
God,
lane?
so.
Who's their mid lane on Academy?
Dude, just fucking buy out DeMonte. Come on.
Yeah.
Just buy out DeMonte. Buy out literally anyone.
It was
man.
it was
Like,
cheaper to buy Pobelter than it was
Yeah,
to buy Demonte.
I love how there was like a giant game of chicken.
Dude, you don't
play.
even
Like,
need to go NA. You have an import slot. You have an import slot and Ica's taking it up. Oh my god, it's so fucking dude. Literally, at this, I never thought I'd say these words, bro. Literally, at this point, just play with Saligo. It's just better for you at this point. Like, it's just, they're too fucking bad.
This
Wow.
is the great. This is my favorite.
Saligo's a
episode
friend of the
Face Check
show,
ever.
okay?
You
Saligo
had,
thinks Face Check is great.
We're-
Saligo thinks Face Check's the #1 podcast.
we're shitting on. Yeah, that's right. We did have him say that. We cut it off before he said 100 Thieves, 100 Talk or whatever 100 Thieves' podcast was.
There might have been a gun to his head, but he did say it, right?
Yeah. Their academy mid laner is Insanity. So Insanity has.
I actually like Insanity.
That's what I was gonna say. I actually like that too. That might just be a free upgrade. You might not have to buy anybody, and you just at least get to throw him out for the wolves and see how he goes.
I mean, they also moved up Apollo, so they seem like very willing to do this, and they must have done internal scrims. And there's no way Ica's beating Insanity in lane, right? Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe Ica's actually beating Insanity in lane, so that's why they're not making that swap up.
Yeah, maybe it's just like this looks bad, but it will look even worse with Insanity in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
no! Come on, Insanity, figure it
No,
out.
I have faith in like somebody like Insanity. Like he's been putting in the work for a long time. Like I feel like he has like the right type of like mindset for LCS. I feel like he's a player that might not look like super reliable, but I feel like he's gonna go onto stage and actually like play well, you know? Like he wants to make plays. He wants to like do something. Which I prefer that to like these players that come in and like it literally just looks like Ica's every game just trying not to get shit on.
Yeah, actually,
Like
yeah.
he's just like, please just don't shit on me, bro. I do not want to go back to France. And it's like, okay, man, like we'll give you a fucking pass. Like we're gonna give you champions that just haven't escaped, so it's impossible for you to get shit on.
Yeah, that there's like three. There's three mid laners, North American mid laners that aren't Demonte that I feel like would be interesting. Insanity. People have always talked about Palafox being the next guy, and then the other one is Yusui over in Team Liquid. Like Yusui's like drug his team to victory against.
Yeah, I think drugged his team means something completely
Yeah,
different
yeah.
than what you're trying to say.
To be honest, that's kind of what it looked like. I love Bob Jenkins, my boy Jenkins over there, but he was
the
playing
Kennen
like a
one-trick god.
freaking monkey. Yeah. It was real bad. He drugged him over the finish line.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, maybe there's something there. But I think there's something to be said that they're willing to make a move in a different lane. So maybe Ica's time might be coming to a close here, so that this team that's sitting 6 and 6
I hope
above
to
the rest of the
fucking
suit
God.
makes a move.
I hope that that it is past this time.
So a team that doesn't need to make a move, we touched on them a little bit last week. We said, hey, we got a big test here, is the team that's not in the soup. FlyQuest was able to had 1-1 this week. Their loss against Cloud9. No shame in that. But again, they're up and away, and it looks like they're heading to playoffs and one of the most successful seasons since spring 2017 when they had the ugly Pokemon logo. So
2017.
yeah. 2017 was when they
God damn.
spring
Yeah,
2017.
with like, was that
High.
the High team?
Yeah, that was High Quest. And
High Quest.
this is why
I mean,
they
I
paid
think
the big
they
bucks.
I think it's probably like the same as 2019 spring, right? Like, well, they got 4th in both those seasons. If I'm
Yes,
correct?
they got 4th in both those seasons.
yeah, I respect it. I think that they're doing better than people thought. I think Power Vivo's playing well. I think Santorin's playing well. Wild Turtle and Viper are like there's at least kind of stable. Like they look like they're at least trying to fit into the team.
I think
And Ignor's good.
Viper's 9th. He's just above Kumo. I don't think there's anyone better.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
what about
Viper's-
Ruin? Like
Yeah.
over the whole course
the
of the
whole
split, I
course.
don't think you could say Ruin's played better than Viper. Like
Thing
Ruin
is-
had 2 good games, but he fucking ran it like straight down mid
But
for
like
5 weeks in a row.
Viper's on a second place team and Ruin was on a last place team. I think if we switch positions, like we would be saying way different things about Viper. If Viper had to play for CLG, I think he would look so much fucking worse.
How? Just
Maybe.
quick question off the top of your head. How long before Power of Evil is no longer an import? Is he?
That doesn't work like that anymore.
Oh, it
You
doesn't
need to
work
get a
like
green
that.
card.
Oh,
You need to
okay.
get a. You need to be a permanent resident now.
Well, ladies, help out NA and make Power of Evil.
He has a long-term NA girlfriend.
What does that count for? Like, is that supposed to mean something?
They could get
They
married.
can get married.
Oh
That
shit!
was my point I was making there. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was just wondering
I don't
because
know,
then
man.
if you did actually make that happen, like, could Ruin unseat Viper and then like
Oh man,
Why do we just skip over my boy Solo?
yeah.
because this is the friendship team and
Solo's a great friend. Solo's
Dude, why
actually
don't-
a great friend.
True, makes
You
sense.
talked to Centauran. Wait, did you or did you not talk to Centauran? What did he say?
I did talk to Santorin. He said that Solo's yeah, I mean, he said pretty much what you said. He said that
See?
Solo's fine in a team environment. He just talks a lot in solo queue, but he was always like reliable. He said that he always thought that Solo would just like win lane. Like he was very confident in just playing with Solo and having Solo just like go even or ahead every single game, and like he would just be there and play like the role of top lane well whenever he needed him.
I
That's
think
pretty much
Viper is like ninth
the
in like
summation of it.
CS differential also, and gold differential. I'd have to go back and check for gold differential, but
Yeah.
like stat wise, like Viper's just fucking ass right now.
Yeah, but you have to also consider like a lot of that is because he was playing like they were the team that got Ornn twice, and then both of his Ornn games he ended up like 40 CS down.
Mhm.
Not because like okay, so that stat is accurate, but the reason that he's behind is not because his laning is really bad. It's because he misuses his TP. So he'll like TP bot to fights that are already over, or TP to a dragon fight that already doesn't matter, and they'll just like lose the fight and lose the game as a result. Or like he'll lose like a bunch of CS as a result. Sometimes they still win the game, but they're like behind a lot in the early game because he's just like he's somebody who like wants to sacrifice himself to like help the team. He's somebody who's like, oh shit, this TP is bad for me, but you need me. Fuck me, like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be there for my fucking team. That's how I see him. So I don't think that his laning is awful. I think his decision making with teleport is awful.
That also doesn't speak well on his part. I just think like
Yeah, sure.
Viper is like people overrate him just because he's on FlyQuest. They're like, oh, he's doing his job. Oh, he's not losing the game for his team. I'm like, rest of FlyQuest looks damn good, so his job becomes really easy. And then speaking about the parts that look really good, like Power Beeble and Ignar have been so fucking legit for this team. I actually think Power Beeble has better synergy with Ignar than he does with Centauran. A lot of times him getting ahead is Ignar
course.
coming in mid lane and making something happen for him. And we saw that in the Cloud9 game, and that's why Nifki was so good. They just out FlyQuest.
Doesn't die.
Yeah, Nifki doesn't die. He dodges every single fucking skill shot,
yeah.
and they won the 3v3 like so fucking easily. Like, yeah, just any other team but Fly or C9, I think FlyQuest would have destroyed that 2v2. Like
Yeah.
Nifki's dodging skill shots on Zoe versus he's dodging Syndra stun, Blitz hook without flash, and I'm just like, okay, this guy's crazy.
Ignar's been top 3 support in the league for sure. It's been Vulcan, Core JJ, and him. Him and Core JJ have been like pretty much a toss up.
And I will say FlyQuest is also benefiting a lot from like the meta really lining up nicely
Mhm.
with what they're doing. But
They played the Kiana game. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. They
Okay.
played the Kiana game and
I'm
they
with
played
you.
it well. And so they're
Mhm.
showing like a little bit more variance, and they're doing kind of what C9 is doing, where C9 banned like Aphelios, Ornn, Yumi on blue side just so they can play other kind of comps. Like there's people fucking telling me they think that's the correct thing to do. It's not. C9 is like trolling LCS right now. C9 is taking LCS as like their playground, and they're like, okay, we need to practice certain comps, so we're gonna ban OP champions on blue, so we play the next level of OPs. And FlyQuest to a certain degree, like, hey, we will probably win most of our games if we play Ori Victor all the fucking time, Ori Victor Corki, but we need to show variance and we need to practice other things, and that's what they're doing. C9 and FlyQuest feel so good about their placements in LCS. They're pretty sure they're gonna make it into playoffs. So yeah, they're flexing on the other teams.
C9's already guaranteed playoffs, so
Yeah.
I mean, C9's guaranteed. FlyQuest is almost guaranteed, and now they're just flexing.
So yeah, FlyQuest has already played the top and the bottom. They lost to Cloud9 last week, and their first game of the second half of the season was against CLG. So everything else out here is against the other playoff contender teams. So they really don't have a quote unquote easy schedule. What is an easy schedule if you have CLG basically? So they'll have to.
there's teams that are certainly weaker. Like I swear to God, from my perspective, the worst 3 teams in the league: Immortals, 100 Thieves, and CLG. Like those are just by far the bottom 3. Like even if Immortals has a better record than a team like Golden Guardians, I just don't value it. Like I would much rather play into Immortals than EG or Golden Guardians right now.
That's week 8, literally, for FlyQuest, Immortals, and 100 Thieves.
They'll be fine. They're gonna make it in.
Yeah, they're free. That's free.
Yeah, it's
We
free.
take those.
It's free. So the question is, like, how fast do they continue to grow, and are they literally playing to stay ahead of everybody else, or are they willing to risk a couple of these games in terms of draft and in terms of trying things out on stage to try and solidify against Cloud9? Because we just got to see what happened, and they just got outplayed, basically.
I think their playstyle is done. I don't think they can evolve much at this point. There's other teams that are going to figure stuff out and really improve a lot. I don't think FlyQuest is one of those teams. They're never going to be able to rely on Turtle. They're never going to be able to rely on Viper. Their playstyle and how they're going to play is pretty much set, and they're just like
Working
edging.
on execution.
Like, yeah. What more evolution is there? Like they're not going to have more dimensions to this team.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to know. Dom, what do you think?
I think that they just have to try to like refine their play style as much as possible. Like there's still improvements they can make. I don't think that they're perfect at playing what they do. They're still like, obviously the biggest thing is what we kind of talked about with Viper, like being able to get Viper more comfortable, like have a more set play style, I guess, where it's like, okay, you're on Ornn, Aatrox, set duty for the rest of your life. And you play those 3 champions. You work like you're decent in lane. We just work on your TP timings, and we just like have Ignar being like the playmaker for the team. Power of Evil, the main carry. Turtle, just please try to not int.
And pull a Riven Band for us every now and then.
Yeah, no, I'm down with the Riven Band. That's actually really valuable. That is some value you have as a player. Where teams is literally don't, because the thing is, Riven is actually good into like Aatrox, right? Like, and that's what people are picking a lot of. So it's kind of just scary for other teams to like go up against them, where it's like, shit, dude. Like most teams rely on blinding Aatrox in a lot of situations, and you just can't do that versus FlyQuest. Or you have to ban Riven.
Well, sounds like an easy job for Coach Curry and D-Lim, but pretty straightforward. Work on this all feels very tangible type of coaching things.
I am biased. I'm definitely better friends with Curry and D-Lim than pretty much any other coaches in LCS, and I talk to them a lot more than any other coach. But I do think this team is very well coached. I think they figured out what they're good at, and they like refined that very early, and they're picking up wins because of that.
When you look at the roster, I mean, it's really hard to have expected any better result than this. Like this is like the max you can get out of it. Yeah, so that to me like signals good coaching.
I'm double checking. Who did they lose to? Because they lost to C9 twice, and then
C9 twice. They lost to TL once.
They had shitty losses early.
The Aatrox, or no, the Mordekaiser into Aphelios game where he death realmed Doublelift, and Doublelift just killed him in the death realm at like level 7 because Aphelios is 200 years.
Yep.
And then they lost to EG.
Oh, so it was TL
the Jizuke Malzahar game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that actually sounds accurate. Losing to TL in Cloud9, and then a not so good EG
a bad loss.
Yeah. So
bad loss.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So FlyQuest sitting at 8-4. Looking good, and now starting to see some why. You know, we're seeing why and how they're separating themselves, which leads us to our second to last segment. I guess our last segment before we get to tweet of the week. It's our playoff time machine. Let's step on in and spend some time here with Zilean as we try to predict the future. We've got our locks, our should be good for playoffs, and needs work. Dom obviously did not approve this because I put Immortals there. It's literally just the records of where everyone is except the locks. The locks are, they're their own thing. So before you shit on me in my transition, let me at least caveat that. All right, so we have
I did not approve this message.
Cloud9 and FlyQuest were locks. Like, unless FlyQuest all of a sudden shits the bed and they put, Viper on anything else other than those 3 champions or Riven, they should be good. Or they're locked in. Immortals, TSM, and TL. TSM, TL on the ascendancy. Well, TSM has been going back and forth, going 0-2, 2-0, 0-2, 2-0 for the last 4 weeks. So theoretically, They should be going 2-0 next week, so they should be good. TL obviously looks better with addition by subtraction, taking out Doublelift. We'll see what it's like next week when they put him back in.
Let me save Daniel. The should be goods are the 6-6, and the need works are the
The
5-7s.
5-7s.
The 5-7s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The 5-7. So
it's just the score lines, guys.
it's
Yep.
just the score lines. Everyone's freaking out right now in Twitch
Okay.
chat. So what do you guys
Alright.
think about this?
All right, this is my top 6, right? You got top 2 will probably be C9 and FlyQuest.
Yeah.
And then the next 3, 4 coming into playoffs will probably be TSM TL. And then I think the 5, 6 should be Dignitas EG. That's what I think.
Ooh, you don't have Golden Guardians.
Nope. I don't trust them, bro. I don't trust, dude. I hate to say it, man. I just don't trust Keith McBrief. I just
Keith's
don't
never
trust
safe.
Keith, bro. He runs it way too hard.
I wonder, oh, man. I wish we should have gotten the strength of schedule. I wonder what games they have left because I think that is like really fucking big.
What do you mean?
Like,
They're all
I
basically
don't know,
playing
man. I just
each
think it's a
other.
hard Keith
Is that what
gap.
you mean?
Like,
They're all
What?
basically playing each other.
I mean, some teams already played CLG, right? Some teams already played Cloud9. Those are like really fucking big, right? If you have a CLG or if you have a Cloud9.
Okay, I'll hover the Cloud9. So TSM, Golden Guardians, 100 Thieves, CLG, lol, EG, and TL all have to play Cloud9, which means Mortals doesn't have to play Cloud9, right? Because they already lost to them.
yeah, and so does so Dignitas just played Cloud9 yesterday.
Yeah, Dignitas just lost to Cloud9 as well. So
Yeah. Their 5-7 doesn't look as bad when it's
Yeah.
like 5-7 with like losses to TSM,
Cloud.
TL, and C9 twice.
yeah, and when you have a CLG game in hand.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting kind of scared for Dig because they're starting to
Oh,
lean
I'm
into
kind of scared
Huni.
for them for sure.
They're leaning into Huni. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you playing Lucian Ignite top?
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it's versus C9. I'm completely okay with it in the context of that's your C9 game. So you need to do some crazy shit to win. Like you really need
that's
like
fair.
Huni to
That's fair,
somehow
that's
just like
They
take
do-
Ignite and just solo kill him like 55 times and then hope that they win the game somehow. Anyway.
There's that Pantheon game versus TL2. They've just been like weird and it's been scary and scarier.
Mhm.
I'm okay. I'm actually okay with the Ziggs. I'm okay with the Anivia. Like I'm okay
Mhm.
with like these picks for Froggen. They make sense in the context of the meta, but Pantheon and Ignite Lucian does not make sense in the context of the meta. And I actually think I trust Diggs bot lane way more than I trust Huni right now.
Yeah. Johnson has been the best player on the team so far. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
And then
Like-
when we talk about like the totem pole, right? But the totem pole is completely reversed.
it's inversed
Yeah, it's
over. at
Huni,
Dig.
Huni at top and Johnson at bottom. But when we talk about level of play, it's like Huni, Greg at bottom, and Johnson at top.
I think
and-
it's Greg at the
Froggen
bottom,
at-
bro. I don't think you group Huni in with Greg. I
Okay.
think Greg has been
Greg.
fucking hard
And then
sprinting.
Huni.
Okay, but still, it is almost reversed, right? The best player is the least vocal, or probably has the least say on the team, and the worst player is one of the most vocal on the team.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this Dignitas has the potential and the pieces to make it in, but do they have the direction to make it into playoff? Is the question.
Mm,
No, I don't think so. I'm sticking with my prediction. I mean, they did much better than what I thought they would.
I
And you
think
guys
they
were
can.
right. It was like draft and resources, right? It was like, hey, look, Huni needs the counter pick. Froggen needs the resources. Johnson just exists. But now that Johnson is existing and actually thriving with Afro, it kind of feels like now we're having that jumble that we're talking about, kind of Dardoch-esque. What's Dardoch going to do when things aren't going right, or when he's forced to play J4 and Sejuani? Things start.
I don't think Huni's
not
that
going
type of
right.
person though. I know that Huni like wants to be the carry and stuff, but I don't think he's like a fucking toxic teammate.
Well, yeah.
He's forcing picks though. These Pantheon Lucian picks are not coach saying you should play Lucian here, you should play Pantheon here.
I think that Lucian makes sense because Lucian was banned against Huni like the entire split so far. Like people have just been so afraid of his Lucian, and I think
we see it, and we're like, I'm not afraid.
yeah, but you saw it versus Cloud9, so it's like skewing your perception of how good it actually can be because he's playing against somebody that's like I don't think that any team is fucking blind picking GP and letting Huni play Lucian into it, for example.
Mhm.
Like I don't think that that's a thing. So-
It's just, I don't think that's how Dick should be playing, and I think it actually takes away from the other strong pieces on the team. And I would much rather see Huni on stuff like Gangplank, Mordekaiser, be more
Aatrox.
independent. Yeah, Aatrox. Has he ever played Aatrox in his life?
Mhm.
It doesn't seem like a Huni champion.
Mm-hmm. Did he play at the split? I'm not sure if he played at the split. I think he did.
I'm looking. It up. I feel like he did. I'm looking it up.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, for this split he didn't. Maybe he did in the past, but I would rather just be the Johnson team, be the Froggen team, because Froggen is still really good in team fight.
Yeah, no, he definitely played Aatrox last split though.
Okay.
So he can play it.
They
he
could,
did- he
I
did
just
that.
want them to lean into the identity of we're a team fight team around Froggen and Johnson.
Yeah.
That gives them the best chance into playoff, but I don't think Hooney's going to allow them to lean into that identity. You
I
can't
still-
have that identity when it's Lucian
So
top,
who
Pantheon
do you
top.
think is gonna make playoffs then if you don't have Dignitas? Who's
I
your six?
I
Golden
want to
Guardians?
pick it. I want to pick Dig. That's the thing though. I want to pick EG.
who would you actually pick though? Because I have EG Dig.
Fuck. Man, fucking Golden Guardians. You're right. It's hard to pick them. There's so many good things about them, but it's also so fucking hard to pick them.
Yeah, it's immortal.
It's like there's so many good things, and there's also
Immortals.
Keith.
I also
So
don't
what do
want
you
to
do?
pick. I also don't want to pick a Kumo team, but it feels like I have to pick a Kumo team or a Keith team.
Yep.
God
It's a
damn.
Kumo gap or a Keith gap. Or is it Hooney attitude gap? Which one is it?
or is it a
I'll-
Ryoma gap? If you put in
I'll-
Soligo, everything's fixed. And I'll
Dude,
take
I'll
100
take
thieves.
Ryoma is bad. He's
I'll-
real bad.
I'll take Hooney for now because I believe in Afro and Froggen to be vocal. Like, there's no way an Afro and Froggen are just like, you know what, Hooney, go do your thing. Like, these players are also veterans. These players also have their career riding on this. Like, for Afro and Froggen, like, not making playoffs leaves such a big, like, black dot on their career. These are, like, championship caliber players. They've won championships before. These are, like, franchise players. And, like, for them to just be like, okay, we'll just be, like, Hooney and the boys is not, like, the Afro way.
Bro,
It's not-
I think that at this point for Froggen, his like he already has like such a mark on his career
Yeah,
because
it's
like
called Echo Fox.
he-
The
he-
Michael Jordan of
dude,
League
he had
of
high highs, but
Legends.
he's like you got to think about it in the context of his career, right? How much has he been on a good versus bad team for, right? And it's
Alliance. And,
Yep.
like,
CLG EU.
CLG.
And then that's
and that was what
That's
like
it.
3 years. That was
Golden
like
Guardians
3-4
playoffs
years.
last year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait, which was Elements or Elements was season 5
Yeah.
that he played?
No.
Oh my god, yeah, it was season 5, and that was season 5. That was with that was when Reckless was playing
Reckless.
Yeah.
on Okay,
so
yeah.
There's 6
So
years
he's
of that
literally
and like maybe that Golden Guardian.
so
stuff.
he had 3 years
Like,
good, 6 years bad at this point,
Yeah.
like where he's just like hasn't achieved much, right? I feel like it's just so overshadowed his lows have overshadowed his highs at this point.
Wow. Don't tell Thorin that.
Dude, I know. Thorin said he was gonna end another show if I fucking shit talk Froggen, and then I proceeded to shit talk Froggen, and he like kind of agreed with me. But
Okay.
yeah, no, that's fair. I don't have like a ridiculous opinion of Froggen. Like, I don't think Froggen's bad.
Froggen's
I just
where
think that there's 4 mid
he
laners that
is.
have played better than him. Like,
Yeah.
I think that,
Froggen's just limited. That's
Mhm.
what I would say. I think he's
Yep.
very good at what he's good at, and he's just bad at what he's bad at. And long as
True.
you lean into the parts that he's good on, then he'll be a good player. But sometimes, like, I'm not sure if it's the coaching staff or it's Froggen.
the thing is,
they try to lean the other way.
I see like other Froggens be a better Froggen than him, right? Like Power of Evil
Power
is
of
just
Evil is a better Froggen.
yeah,
right now.
he's just a better Froggen. He's more Froggen than Froggen himself. I don't know how it happened, but that is literally like what the league is right now. Like you've got better Froggen in the league at the moment.
So would you
Bjerg is actually turning into a better Froggen right now.
Oh, I don't even know if he's a Froggen.
What is he? He's a
What is
shitty
he?
Niski. Shitty Niski.
who plays Maokai?
He's like a fucking. You know what he is at this point? He's like trying to think.
Go through the Rolodex of mid laners and the
You know,
history
he's
of
like
mid-laners.
he's like
Shitty Niski. Shitty Povelter.
I was gonna say like
you know who he's like? He's like Kuro. That's kind of how I see him right now. He's like Kuro from LCK.
oh jeez.
Mm.
That's what he's
That was
becoming.
that's actually been a good. That was actually a comparison when both were good too. When
Oh,
both
I
were really
didn't
good.
know that.
Shitty.
When
shitty
both were
doing
really
me.
good.
Mhm.
No, I know what Dom's saying is like because Bjergsen doesn't carry and he's like allowing other people. Like there was a time where like him and Kuro both got compared when they were both like doing well because like both were good on Azir. Both whatever. We don't have to go into that point. But going back into this, I'll take Dig because I believe in Afro and Froggen and they'll right the ship.
Mhm.
You had EG, right?
I had EG and Dig as 5-6.
Man, if Golden Guardian's that bad,
They're so
Maybe.
inconsistent.
let me go look. Fuck.
They won a perfect game or a no death game, a deathless game this weekend, and then Keith turned back into Keith.
Wow. Golden Guardian still has TL, C9, TSM.
CLG, right?
they still have a CLG at least. But Golden Guardian schedule's rough. Damn. Wow, I think I might lean with you and go EG Dick. Holy fuck! I thought I would definitely pick Golden Guardian.
I just think that those are the fifth and sixth best teams right now. Like just in terms of how they play, they're the most convincing.
It's
Like,
close though.
at least when EG wins, like you kind of see like it's like okay, Jizuke is like an actual carry. Kumo's bad, but he can like sometimes like if you put him on the right stuff, like when he's played Renekton, it was okay. When he played Set, it's okay. Like he can just be consistent up there, or like he can just like try to not lose the game up there. And then they have like jungler that's hit or miss, and then their bot lane is like pretty okay sometimes.
Yeah, and there's people yelling Immortals, but Immortals is that girl that makes a really good first impression, and the more you get to know her, the crazier and crazier she is, and you're like, holy fuck, you're just great on the first date. That's about it.
Which
They
is
got
why I'm
them.
taking her. Give me the crazy. I think Immortal's gonna make it.
God, I hate watching them play. I really just hope they don't make it. I'm a fucking Immortals
because
hater.
no, we talked. The Loco kind of talked through it. It's like, hey, look, Apollo's gonna come in here and at least give more information to the decision makers. I trust in Xmithy, and because they show they're willing to make a change, because they're right on the cusp here. If they bench Ica for insanity or they go buy somebody, I wouldn't be opposed to that as well. So those two things, the addition of Apollo,
They just have no
possibly
like
benching somebody.
they win the games where the other team loses. They rarely just win the fucking game themselves. Where it's like, damn, that's like at least when EG wins, it's like that's an EG victory. Like when EG beat FlyQuest, it's like they're doing stuff. Jarvan Malzahar, 4-manning bot. Nice. Like they did something, right? Like Jizuke is like playing fucking LeBlanc in the split push, and you know he's making plays. You know he's getting good flanks into the team fights. You know, like they're at least playing actively. So I always take active teams over inactive teams, right? Like even when EG loses, they are like taking bad fights and like they're inting it. Whereas like
You've made
Immortals
the
is
point
just
already.
never doing
You've
anything.
made
They're
the point.
5-1 in the
L-
last 6 games. Which
LCS
part,
is
like,
bad. LCS is bad.
No,
so
LCS
let
is-
the other teams lose for you, and Immortals will just slide in with the win.
They're getting better. No, LCS is getting better. They were bad. They're getting better. Like you can't get away with like the same bullshit that you've been getting away with.
Yeah, someone in the chat's like, and Immortals wins are, oh my god, they opened to mid, which is very true. But I think that happens.
People
more
stop
likely than
opening
not.
mid. No, people stop opening mid later in the season.
All right. Well,
I don't know. I just the way that I've seen Immortals play recently. So this is another thing you got to consider.
Yeah.
Immortals was 5-2 in their first 7 games, and they're 1-4 since then. And the only win they have in their last 5 games is against CLG.
but they played Cloud9. That's what they played
Okay.
Cloud9 and they made the move, right? They made the move last
But they should have lost the CLG game too. They should have lost every single game. Like they should have lost last night. CLG really had to fucking make a bunch of bad decisions in a row for Immortals to win.
Well, Dom, and both of you guys, as players and as a coach, the difference it makes to go into the week of practice after an 0-2 compared to a 1-1, even if you're like, man, I played bad, is so much better. Like
Sure, it's better, right? But it doesn't matter if that makes it better. It doesn't matter if your mood is better, if your players and your team just isn't good, and that's the case they have. Like we can talk about, they're 1-1, their mood is gonna be better. We have Apollo coming in, and I'm the one that actually talked well of Apollo and like how he's gonna help the team. But the pieces around are pretty bad, and the way they're winning, that late game decision making, and the enemy team kind of inting it, isn't very stable way to win.
All right. Well,
Not a fan.
I guess I'm running that one alone, and then I'm in with you guys on EG. I think EG will figure it out, and Kumo gap.
So you
can
think
be over.
Dignitas is not gonna? Dude, you've been hating Dignitas. You had them 10th place originally. You have them
Yes.
out of playoffs now.
I was hating Dignitas. Now I just don't think they're gonna be able to work through it. Like I don't think they're gonna be able to work through it. If so, it'll be on the back of surprising play from Grig. That's what.
Oh, have we ever talked about EG bot lane? By the way, I actually think Zazo Bang are really overrated. I'm not sure if we ever
are they
actually
rated
got-
highly? Like I
I
don't even
at
know.
like five.
People
6.
talk about Bang as like a world champion and like Zazo as like,
Yeah, he's a
it's
world
like
champion.
Zazo from C9. Like
Mhm.
their stats last time I checked, Zazo had at 15 plus 4 goal differential, and Bang had 1.2 CS differential. Their laning is so non-existent, and their role is to do well in team fights, and that's how they made their name in other teams. So
Zazo was the.
I mean, I wonder how much of that is due to like because they played the Sona Tom Kench game, which is obviously going to skew those stats, and then the other one is the one that they just played, right? The Senna 80 carry game.
Mhm.
So I wonder if that like factors into that as like I don't know. Their laning is bad at times, though. Like even
Traditionally, they have never been strong laners.
didn't they lose? One of the losses was to 100 Thieves this week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the
The
100 Thieves
Zyra
game, the Zyra Khan game, they just really fucking botched that lane. Like they had to lose heal, or I think Bang lost flash, maybe heal, and like 75% of his life, and it just forced them to like have to give up multiple waves on turret at like 3 minutes into the game. And that's not something that you fucking draft Zyra Khan for. You don't draft Zyra Khan, you're like, okay, now it's gonna be okay for us to like lose lane, kind of. It's like, no, that's like a strong bot lane. That's a priority bot lane. Teams ban Xayah just so you can't go Zyra Khan. So I really was just not happy with that game in terms of pure laning.
Wait. So follow me here. So we're talking about EG. We're talking about,
Mhm.
man, overrated players here, you know, possibly sending Sneaky into retirement prematurely because Zeyzal's playing like ass. It's actually Zeyzal's fault. But if you think about it, there's maybe an answer. We said they're poor in lane. One of the
Are you gonna?
best
Oh god!
laners-
If you
it's
suck
time,
at it-
boys! It's time! The Golden Guardians bot lane that got absolutely shit on was the only reason why we were booing for a while, has been shitting on everybody as
Oh,
EG
no.
Academy coming on through. You want
Oh,
lane
please.
dominance. You want someone that's going to give you a little bit of a boost there and have
Oh,
a support that's not going to hit. It's time to unleash Matt and Matt, the
You know-
world champion. The world
Daniel.
championship,
You-
highest
you
win
know-
rate player
you know,
in the
Loco-
history of
Is
League of
paying you.
Legends.
Face Check is paying you, not fucking Deathly, okay? Face
You know,
Check
Loco-
the app is sponsoring us.
Time to
not
put in
Deathly.
Deathly and Matt. It's time.
You know, I used to think that you were in the wrong, Loco, when you said that Degon was replaceable. But after this last segment here, you know, maybe you are correct, dude. Maybe he is
No
replaceable.
way,
Jesus
dude.
fucking Christ!
You guys
I
are
know-
both
I know
kinda
fuck is this
saying-
take?
I'm
Talk
giving
after
you
the show. We'll talk after
solutions.
the show.
Giving you solutions to the issues that you guys are bringing up.
Okay, what I'm saying is Bang is overrated, not bad. He's just I don't like when people talk about Bang as like, oh, he's like a top tier AD carry. Like Afro
Yeah,
is the
he's
problem
not.
because like
Mm-mm.
Bang, it's fucking Bang. It has to be Afro. Bang is very good in team fights. Like when you think Bang, he played with fucking Marin, he played with Faker, he played with who, like Duke, he played with Huni. He had monster solo lanes and he just won through team fighting with those. And that's what he's doing on EG. Like he's not doing anything in early game. He's doing well in mid game. He's doing well in team fights. But stop expecting things out of EG in the
So-
early game.
So where do you have him? Where do you feel like people are telling him, and where do you have him? Like, is he saying people are saying he's top 3, and you have him?
I think he's like a fifth, sixth
yeah,
AD
I have
carry.
him 5.
Yeah, 5-6. But the way people talk about him, I feel like they don't talk about him as 5 and 6.
Dude, it's because of like people need to just like stop when they're like, okay, you can judge a player, you can do tier lists in like when you compare careers. That's a completely different thing than when you do a tier list of how people are playing now, right?
Yeah.
It's like people did the same thing with Doublelift. Like a lot of people would make a fucking tier list and they'd put Doublelift in like the top 5. If you put Doublelift in the top 5 based on his play this split, you are delusional. You did not watch the fucking games. Like there's no way you can put him above the other people based on how he played.
Yeah.
So it doesn't fucking matter to me. Like it doesn't matter who you were before compared to how good you are now. Like this game changes a lot, and people that are grinding and people that are trying their hardest right now can overshadow you in a fucking instant, bro. We saw Perks change roles and become the best AD carry in the world last season.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it can happen.
We I was just told that Jat had him at number 2 AD carry. That's
Oh.
that's kind of where a lot of the hype was coming from.
And that's why you guys watch Face Check and not the Joshua Leesman experience. Makes sense.
You can listen to both. Jat's a good dude.
Wow.
Oh, you
actually,
can.
I
You
think
can.
Jad is one of the better analysts in LCS. That's fucking shocking to hear. Holy shit, that bullshit came from Jad.
It was on the dive.
I mean, okay, so who would you have at number 2 if you had to do like a tier
Sven,
list?
Sven won for sure.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we save it for next week? We'll do a 80 carry
Mhm.
tier list for next week. So all of you that are
I mean,
here-
number two for me would be Johnson.
Johnson. It'll be like who?
I think Johnson's played well. Like, what has Johnson done wrong?
Yeah, that's
well-
really high, but I think you're right. That's crazy.
Johnson 2.
I'm trying to think who else. It'd be like what Kabe is like the other one.
I would put Kabe over Bang this split.
Yeah.
Like what?
We'll get to
Yeah.
it next week. We'll start doing.
We'll get to it next week. So those are our playoff
Cody.
picks. Those are
An
our,
LCS analyst tier list.
Yeah, jeez. No,
Yeah.
that's how you get in trouble. Those
Don't
are our
worry.
playoff
Bro,
locks.
I was about to do a fucking casting tier list because, dude, sometimes I hear these casters and like I get so mad doing my co-streams because they'll just like lie for no reason to the audience. They'll be like, oh, and he's looking for a gank here top, and it's like he's obviously just there to push out the wave. Like, what are you even saying? Like, are you like, to me it's just trolling. It's like, dude, you have to you have to be caring about like what's actually like why do people not care about being accurate with their like analysis of the game?
They should definitely be accurate, but there's also an onus on them to always be talking, right?
Yeah,
always
sure.
be talking. They can never be silent. So when you try to fill in the gap with information, sometimes you do say misinformation. Was that good enough for you, Daniel? Did I shield it correctly?
Yep.
You shielded me enough.
Fuck that shit. You're wrong.
Riot.
Like, be right more often. That's all I want. Just
all right.
be better at casting. There
Tier
it is.
list coming at you tomorrow, next week, and our updated playoff, I guess, predictions coming at you next week. All right, so we'll close things out here with tweet of the week. This one comes from Riot Communications Lead, Arcade Wrigley, right? Wrigley.
Yeah,
Wrigley.
I just know him as Wrigley.
He goes by Cactopar. Cactopus on Reddit, and so he was opening himself up as Riot leads would and should to an AMA on Reddit where he answered some of the client issues that all of you guys have been experiencing. The only reason why any of you guys
This is Dom's favorite.
make
Dom tweets about
games.
this all the fucking time.
So here we
Yeah,
go.
it's so annoying. Like,
There's a tweet. So people asking, hey man, are you working on the client? And he goes, yes, it is a priority. And then some smartass goes, is it a higher priority than the 7 Kaisa and Lux skins for 2020 or a notch below them? And he fired back, which I love this because most of the time Rioters don't. Me, hey Skins team, what are you doing? Skins team, oh nothing, just generating revenue for this company, which covers your paycheck and the paychecks of everyone else here, including the client team devs. Oh tight. Want to stop that and learn how to fix plugins and Ember apps? I don't even know what Ember apps are.
It's
I
what
guess
the
he's
client
just-
is based on.
Okay.
so he's just pulling out fucking buzzwords and shit. It's like, do you know about Ember apps, motherfucker? No? Then shut the fuck up. Our client's perfect. Like, what? All right, man. Nice, dude.
That's not what he meant. He's just basically saying, look, it is a priority, but you don't take somebody off. And then later on in his tweet, which I thought was pretty cool, he said, it's like if you're playing Age of Empires 2 and you take like one of the farmers and have them start building. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So like and this is why I protect Riot, not protect Riot, but like protect the people that don't deserve to be blamed in Riot. Like, so it's a massive company. There are people that are working on some things, and it's cool to, one, show a little bit of the insight, and two, have a little bit of a clapback in a fun and not harmful way, right? So that
This guy's a communication lead, so he has to communicate properly, right? Anytime he communicates like an idiot, like it looks so bad on him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they just have to like see like what's really a priority in their company, like ball tapping or having a working client. Like, just you gotta really just measure things up. And it's like, you want to flick some balls, your client's probably gonna be ass.
PR department, why aren't you fucking fixing the client?
Yeah, that's
I mean, to me, I like the like shade that he's kind of throwing at the
client
whatever team, the client team, whatever you fucking want to call them, because he's like, dude, it's no one else's fault. Like, there's no point where he's like trying to give some excuse for like, oh well, like our client is like super intricate and like we have like the most played game in the world, so it's hard to like update. Like, he gives no like reasoning as to why the client team is so fucking bad. It's just like, no, everyone else is doing well. It's like, oh, so what you're saying is the client team is just filled with like literal fucking monkeys or what? Like, who are these people that are working on this client? Because I literally do promotions for mobile games on my fucking phone, and their clients are better than the League of Legends client that is supposed to be the biggest game in the fucking world. It's actually insane. Like, how can the client be this bad at this point in the game? Like, really? Like, I'm not able to select my runes before a game. Like, oh, the client just like bugs out and that's the thing. I get messages in game now that from like 4 weeks ago from random people. I just get like random responses throughout the game where it's like yellow text where I could reply to it, where I'm like, bro, I remember having this conversation. This was literally a month ago. Like, it's so disgustingly bad. And for some reason, like, only now they're thinking about like, oh, I guess it's a priority. Dude, people on fucking Twitter have their names as Fix the Client. There is a guy with 1,000 followers on Twitter that is making a campaign to fix the client by tweeting a more distorted picture of my face every day. That is the status of the fucking client, bro. People are getting thousands of followers tweeting distorted faces of me every single fucking day. Come on, man. It's literally just a blob at this point. It's literally a fucking blob.
What is it? Where is it?
I don't know. There, CEO of fixing the client Twitter or something like that. I don't even fucking know. I blocked the guy.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Holy. Distorting
Okay, maybe it's got 545. Yep.
Distorting a more distorted picture of Liquid Dominate every day.
Yeah, look at where it's at right now. Look at the March 1 one. Look at the March 1 picture. Just put that on the screen for people.
Give me a second.
This is where we're at, bro. This is how long this motherfucker's been up to this shit. It's literally a fucking blob. Fix the goddamn client, man.
Tom, you should get
This is me. This is a picture of me, bro.
You should
Like,
get
what
this
the
printed on a
fuck?
canvas and posted. On,
Yeah.
You should have it in your house. This is modern art.
That's a self-portrait.
Are these your eyes? Like what?
I don't know what those are. I have no clue, bro. It's too insane. Fix the goddamn client.
Wait, we gotta find where at least you're like at least a little.
Just go less distorted.
What?
Go
It goes
less
all the-
distorted. Yeah, no, it's every day. He literally just tweeted one every
You
single day.
look like BoJack Horseman on this talk.
Oh, that's one of my eyes, isn't it?
Yes.
That's more cubism. Okay, okay.
All right, fuck it.
All right. This is pretty good.
That actually, it's kind of looking like a Picasso painting. Keep on going down. All right, there it is. That's kind of me. Oh man,
All right.
Jesus Christ.
That's good.
I think Digon's muted or something.
no.
Is
Am I? Hello.
You are muted. We can't hear you.
Oh shit.
You must have unplugged something.
Oh yeah, that was my bad.
Hey.
Holy, that's so good, dude. I'm just dying out here. You guys didn't hear
All
me
right,
cracking up the
so
whole time?
I literally had to I got so many distorted ass pictures of myself that I had to fucking block this motherfucker, and the client still is not fixed.
He stopped. He stopped. So
Well,
if you scroll to
it's
the
too
top,
insane.
if you scroll to the
It's
top,
too
he
insane.
says, "Hey, we did it. Hey, we did it, Reddit. Thank you to everyone that supported the movement. We finally did it." This is actually the
What
real
the
tweet
fuck?
of the week.
Now the real tweet of the week is Wiggly not fucking linking his Knight's Vow for the entire game, and then me tweeting that, and then him telling me that he thought it was on Ezreal, and then me
it got
telling
disconnected,
him,
right?
yeah, maybe. I don't fucking know.
So
Point is
when-
that it wasn't linked to like they have 2 carries, and one of them is not linked with the Knight's Vow.
what happens is when you originally link a Knight's Vow and then
Yeah.
someone else links it onto the same target, the new person that linked it gets the link, and then the old person just gets disconnected.
Yep, there it is, man.
Wiggly didn't
There
have his
it
Knight's
is.
Vow this entire game. Pretty sure I had it on Ez. Brahms' Knight's Vow was on the Ezreal. Oh, I took it off mine, didn't I?
Yeah, it disconnects it. So you have to tell your team.
Yep.
That's how much they're not communicating though within CLG. Like one person linking the Knight's Vow and like, hey, I'm what is it linking with Ezreal, and then the other person with Knight's Vow is like, okay, I'll link with the mid laner.
Yep. I mean, it's just crazy that no one noticed. Not one person noticed. Like, neither of the 2 people that had the Knight's Vow, or neither of the 2 people that should have had the Knight's Vow connected, noticed the entire game. They're just like focusing on everything else, and they're just not even like paying attention to like the micro game at all.
I,
It's
they
like,
can't,
let's get efficiency out of our items.
dude. They can't do step 1. They can't avoid a fucking Camille as a Ezreal. So maybe asking for that is asking for too much.
And that's the whole point of Knight's Vow, bro. Like, you literally build Knight's Vow into Trundle. You build Knight's Vow and Zeke's because you have less stats that way, and you get, like, passives that are nice for you. So you don't just get a Stone Plate and feed Trundle a million stats.
I mean, let's not ask students that are struggling with like basic math for algebra. Like they can't, like they just literally cannot fucking just dodge a fucking gank or
Linking
dodge
your
a fucking.
goddamn Knight's Vow is algebra, bro. Like, really?
Dude,
It's
we've seen how badly CLG plays.
you buy the item, you click it, you put it on someone else. Like, it's really, come on, please.
I feel like
Like,
with-
just link
I
it.
think that don't ask for too much.
I feel like when you're saying that stuff, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Really not linking your Knight's Vow, bro? Really?
Yeah.
This photo that's there. And I'm fucking
God damn.
I tried to close it, but then I went back to it. As you guys are making these points about CLG, I'm like, this is CLG right
That's my face. That's my face when I fucking watch a CLG game. That's how I feel.
And then it gets more distorted as you watch Immortals and 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Then by the end of it, it's that fucking blob.
Oh my god, that's
This is your
really
this is your
good.
brain on LCS.
Yep. Go to the most recent one. I love
It
that one.
looks just liquid,
It's too
dude.
good.
There's nothing there, dude.
There it is. I love that. That shit is just too good.
Okay. All right.
I think Deacon's muted again somehow.
Shit.
He muted Discord.
I don't know what I'm hitting that's doing that. My bad.
There must be a hotkey you're hitting.
Okay. Well, either way, yeah, I think we covered it all today. 2.5 hours of goodness for everybody. Any closing thoughts before we move into week 7?
All right. I mean, you guys watch the show. You guys enjoy the show. I don't want to be a shill, but click the link below and download. It really helps us, and it tells the sponsors you care about this show. You guys show up. You guys give us the views. We'll always provide free content. I know you're going to say some bullshit about needing to subscribe onto my channel to see the VODs, but you literally get it for free the next day on DOMS. Like, we want to provide content for you guys, and we want to be able to do this consistently. We're going to make it worth your time. Please make it worth ours.
Yeah. Also, I think we held out for a decent sponsor.
We
I mean,
did.
it's FaceCheck, sponsored by FaceCheck. It just makes sense, you know? It feels like
Yeah.
it should be a thing.
Yeah. So go download the thing. I've used Overwolf before, so I trust their app. So thank you guys for doing that and supporting us. Make sure to this is my own personal shill thing. Follow these two, but more importantly, follow me. I need these follows. Thanks. All right, cool. Anything else? No? All right. Thanks, guys. Week 6 in the books. We'll look forward to week 7. 80 carry tier list, and maybe we'll try and contact that guy to see if he'll make more morphs of Tom's face.
Uh-huh.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.